business, and we also have two new cigar shop owners here, and Anna and Maria. So give them a little a clap. So to my right, I have Joanne, aka Cigar Dimples. I have Anna, also known as the Smoking Bodega, but and Maria. I don't know your IG, Maria. Yeah. Oh, really?
She's incognito.
Yo, for real, incognito. I feel you on that. So the first question I'm going to ask you girls is, what was you guys' first smoking experience?
Well,
I got some softballs at first.
So my first smoking experience was one day I was at a restaurant, family owned, and I actually smelled tobacco, a nice smell of tobacco, and I was never around that to begin with, so I was like, "What is that? That's a nice smell." And all of a sudden, it was a gentleman that was a couple of tables down was smoking. We were in an outdoor restaurant, and it just so happened that the owner of the restaurant, he's a constant patriot to the restaurant. Yeah. So I asked him, "Hey, were you smoking?" All of a sudden, I got a cigar, and so I get to try it, and it's a Cuban.
Oh wow! Oh,
and it's a Ramon Alones, that one. So I was like, "Oh, this is nice," and that was my first experience with a cigar. Did I get to finish it? No.
like you don't think it? I find that hard because like you start off with something so good, and then like your next cigar might be something.
And
like,
the bad part about it is that I didn't even realize how
good
it
was.
Yeah,
exactly. So you can't really appreciate it the way you wanted to.
Yeah.
So Anna, you want to go next?
I have pretty much this typical experience. My husband smoked. We were part of a motorcycle group, so he'd be smoking his cigars. Yeah. I started with the typical Tatianas and the flavored things until one day he told me to hold his stick for a minute, and I just never gave it back. And that was the end of flavored cigars for me. From then on, I just started stealing from his humidor.
Still a lot.
And then getting my own to the point of now my partner Maria and I opening our own shop, so I don't need his.
Nice.
So Maria, you want to?
So mine is a little different. I was underage, and back in Puerto Rico, my grandmother used to smoke the little cigarritos. And being curious, the houses in Puerto Rico, some of them have like, you could like kind of like crawl under the house. Yeah. It's, you can sit right under the back porch.
Yeah.
And I've taken a little cigarrito and I was there, I lit it up. I have watched Grandma 1,000 times doing it, so I know how to do it. But I inhaled, so I started coughing. And Grandma was right on the porch.
Mm-hmm.
She came around and she looked at me. She said, so you want to smoke?
Oh, I knew she knew right away.
So you want to smoke? So she took me upstairs. We went into the kitchen and she said, a good smoke always go with a cup of coffee. So she made black coffee with no sugar. Again, I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
She sat me down. She started talking about the cigar and how to light it up and pair it with coffee. And that's how I started. Once that was just that one experience. She, threatened to if I did it again because I was too young or whatever, but because I was doing it hiding, she wanted me to have that experience. Moving forward, I moved from Puerto Rico here. Nobody here smoked until, I started my career and then I started smoking again. So, but my very first experience was with Grandma.
That's pretty cool, and I find that very interesting that that a cop be breaking the law. So yeah,
That was back then.
Yeah.
That was back then. You don't know no better.
So Texas Taurus says, "Hello, ladies,"
Hi, how you doing?
and that Nguyen says, "Hey, oh, he tells us say hey to me, and what are you guys smoking?"
Let you see.
Yeah, actually, and they're all smoking SP Lanceros.
SP 1014 red.
So
it's by coincidence too, because
Yeah.
that's what we grabbed and when we got here, she had the same thing.
yeah, that's
We
pretty,
didn't plan this,
Yeah.
trust me. He just grabbed it and started smoking it.
that's pretty cool. Like, so just going from what was your first experience like going into a cigar shop and actually sitting down and kind of being there with your friends and like seeing everybody just like like how like guys are already it's good like all of a sudden everybody head turn, you walk in, everybody's like, hold up, like what's going on here, what are you guys doing here?
I got in a lot of those looks when you first walk into a cigar shop. I think now it's changing a lot more, but when I started smoking was like, what you know about smoking?
Mm-hmm.
And can I help you? Can I recommend something? Wanted to light up my cigar or cut my cigar, and we had the conversation about, as if I didn't have an idea how to cut it or how to light up my stick. Some people do it, out of courtesy, and it's appreciated. And then other people do it because they think that you don't know how to do it, just because you're a woman, because they don't offer, most places don't offer a man to light up their cigar or cut their cigar.
Very true.
So
I could understand that, and because it's like men have that kind of like damsel in distress kind of symptom where it's like, oh my god, like she might need my help, and it's like, no, I don't need your help, I got this. Yeah.
It is not to sound like, I got it, I know, because I always like to get feedback, and I learn every day from. I talk any cigar shop that I go to and sit down. I'm the one to always ask questions. What are you smoking? What is that made of? Why? Because I want to learn. Because I want to try something different, not stick with the same stick, every day. But it's just some people, I guess, perception. It's like, oh, she's a girl. She don't know. That's strong. That's a strong cigar. Like, I get that a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a very strong cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I always buy.
If only we run circles around it.
It's just the way it comes across. Like, that's a very strong cigar.
Yeah. True.
Or the flavor sticks are over here. That's what
Yeah.
You looking for a flavor stick?
Or our experience, we went to a cigar shop one time and we were sitting outside enjoying our cigars, and a group of gentlemen were at a different table, and they looked over at us. What flavors are you guys smoking? We just looked at them and we asked them, hey, what Tatianas are you guys smoking?
Wow.
But they automatically assume they're smoking flavors,
exactly.
And it's they're smoking their own sticks.
You should have said, well, if you're smelling some flavor, that might have been my body spray.
Yeah.
He probably would have been like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, my first experience in a cigar lounge, I'll be honest with you, I would go into a cigar shop and I would buy my cigar and I would go home. I didn't have a group of girls to smoke with. So I decided, you know what, I'll go into the smoke shop, buy my cigar, go home, smoke it, try it. You know how you read all these things about the cigar, somebody's promoting, whatever, you up on all that stuff, social media. And I was like, oh, I want to try it. So I would go buy my cigar and leave. So the gentleman that I would buy my cigars from at a local shop was like, why you just don't sit here and smoke it? And I was like, no, I don't feel comfortable. Like, even the thought of it had me like sweating, right? I was like, no, I don't feel comfortable. Like, I felt like this is such a man's world, and I would feel like intimidated just sitting there. So he goes, oh, He goes, next time you come into the shop, I'm gonna cut the cigar for you, and I'm gonna light it, and you're gonna smoke it. And I was like, no, it's okay, it's okay. So sure enough, I go. He sees me. He says, I know you like to smoke. I got something for you new to try. That is that same palette. And he goes, so you're gonna smoke it here? And I'm like, no. So he purposely cuts it for me and starts to light it. So I said, I guess I gotta smoke this thing, right? So I go and I sit down, and he gives me a box of matches. So I start smoking it, and let me tell you, the minute I was sitting down, all the male conversation that was happening around me was like a mute point. Everybody went whoop, and I was like, damn, this isn't good. I'm like, oh God. So now here I am. I'm like, feel like I was like perspiring. I'm smoking. My cigar was like this, shaking. And I said, I gotta calm down. Down. And at the end of the day, as I was getting towards the middle of the cigar, I said to myself, these fucking men in here are probably just as nervous as I am about me being here than I'm about them being here. I'm making them feel uncomfortable, you know? Yeah. And I said, why am I even uncomfortable? Like, so what? And then, I don't know, something got into me, and I said, oh, you know what? I'm going to smoke the rest of this cigar. And ever since then, I would go to the smoke shop, and I would sit in a certain area. This way, I'm not bothered. You know, I also wanted not to be the one that was like going there for attention. So when I would go to the smoke shop, I was with like my jeans, my sneakers, a hoodie. It was like just so that I can, I don't know, for me, psychologically is like earning the respect of all the men versus going in there with my boobs out and having a cigar and them thinking I'm there for attention, which is not what the attention I want was on this. Exactly. That's it.
So, Sanjs says hello.
Hey, Sanjs.
And that one again, and he says, what's everybody's go-to cigar for any time of the day?
Oh,
I have to admit is Oscar.
Really?
Double leaf. It's been my forever and ever stick. I think once I got introduced to that stick, it's something morning, afternoon. It's like my go-to. If I'm having one of those days where it could be sunny, rain, storm at the same time, that's kind of like
Leaf by Oscar. That was actually one of the first cigars I ever smoked.
That's kind of like my baby, the stick.
So I don't know if it was the Maduro or if it was the Corolla. I have no idea which one it was. My first cigar was the Isa de la Sola. After that, yeah, I was hooked on those when I first started smoking. Then after that, I picked up that, a Leaf by Oscar, and a house blend from what's that spot down in Ironbound? Railroad. And that Leaf by, like, the wrapper got me. So I was like, okay. Like, I picked that one up, and like Leaf by Oscar is that, like, I like the Superfly was good. I actually enjoy, Oscar Valdez stuff, so it's actually pretty good. But
that's like my forever.
Yeah, ever. That's your baby. That's your baby. What about you, Hannah?
I don't really have a favorite, but I tend to stick to the same thing. I come into the shop here all the time with the intention of, Sanj, what's new? What do I try? What do you have? But my hand always goes right into the box for the Lancero industry killer in either Habano or Cameroon. And it's just automatic. So by the time I get that one, I light it up, I start smoking, I forget about everything else around. And there's so many choices that's just my go-to. That's where I just go to.
So
I have a go-to. I have two go-tos. So depending on what kind of mood I'm in, those are my two. my mood where I'm in my deep thoughts and I'm like trying to figure things out, I pull out a CAO Brasilia, the box press one.
Okay.
And I know that is like strong as shit, but sometimes I'll just smoke that first cigar in the morning, a little bit of coffee,
wake you right up,
and it's like it wakes me up. And then my second go to is the it's actually now Long Live the King. Long Live the King. I don't know. There's just something about that cigar.
Well,
before I wear it.
So mine is the RS de Cameroon. I can have it anytime, anywhere. Love that cigar. And something that I got at home that I can go to that I love smoking is actually the 601 Blue.
Oh yeah.
The 601 because that has that pepper. I enjoy that cigar a lot when I'm at home. So I'll go with that one. And oh, come on. Listen, first of all, if they're here, they're all Cowboy fans, all right? Texas Vegan, get that right.
Who's that?
All right.
No, I'm not a Cowboys fan. Sorry, I gotta come out of that
one. Yeah. So Matt in the morning. What's going on, Matt? Man, how's everything in Minnesota, man? He asks, what would everybody's go-to be for a celebratory cigar? So for
celebratory?
Yeah.
Wow. You know what? I would honestly say that even though Cubans are overrated, I think that we need to go back to our roots in the sense.
Yeah.
So I think having a celebratory rooted cigar is my go-to. So yeah, I would do a Cuban, or that's what I would do.
Yeah. If I was to, what we gonna celebrate soon? We got a lot of things coming.
Listen, every day is a celebration.
I celebrate every day.
Every day is a blessing and celebration.
Every day I celebrate either whether it's a Lancero or industry kill. I'm celebrating every morning.
There you go.
But I think I have to agree with you. If it's, I will have to go with Cuban something
rooted, something traditional, something.
Okay. What about you, Anna?
Same, but like you said, every day is a cause for celebration. And I've had so many great cigars for no reason whatsoever that I just smoke it when I have it. I don't wait for, I'm going to hold this one until this happens. And
so
that's one thing I don't do. And I understand that people get this stick.
I'm very bad at that.
And they say, I'm gonna wait for this cigar. I'm gonna put it up for good. Nah, bro, you gave it to me today. I'm smoking that sucker today.
See.
Because at the end of the day,
not unless I'm supposed to put it away and wait to age a little bit.
There's no aging process.
Listen,
that shit is over.
If you give it to me, I'm smoking it right there and then. I'm gonna celebrate today that I got me a different stick.
See, I am the total. I have a Davidoff Auto at the house that I want, and so I'm waiting till my son graduates to smoke that cigar.
What are you gonna do? Smoke it with him?
Oh no, I'm gonna sit there. And
he got it all planned out.
I got perfect.
The layout. Go ahead, tell us the layout.
So my son, I'm gonna make him puff for Connecticut, but I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna light that cigar up, and I'm gonna look at his mother, even though me and her married super cool. I'm gonna go. This right here is a victory for my last day of paying that damn child support.
No, it's not. If he goes to college, he's still paying.
That's right, bro. Well, you think you're gonna get out of this?
It's not easy.
He's going to the military. He made his mind up already. So it's
his unpaid for already.
So this don't have this is you're just gonna celebrate that you don't have to dish out extra cash.
He's like, go ahead, go serve your country.
Yeah,
it's cheaper on me.
So the plan, so he's like, so his plan is for him to He said he wants to go either Marines or Army. I said, "You're not going either one." I said, "You're either going Air Force or Navy." And
Okay.
because I want you as far away from the fight as possible. I said, you'll still be able to go to school, and like you just still be able to pay for your college. And once you get out of college, once you get out, you know, you can decide what you want to do. But as military, you're first in line for policemen, firemen. So you set yourself up. Now the younger one, that one, that's a whole other headache. That's a whole other headache. But for the older one, the older one's good. So me and him have had many discussions on what he wants to do with himself, and he has a pretty good head on his shoulders. So I just got to get the younger one on the same track. But
So your better half don't smoke.
no.
Oh, that's why that cigar's still there.
Yeah.
That would have been me. I would have been like,
I would've
what happened?
Listen,
I would be like, I don't know what happened to the humidor.
Yeah.
but in the
I had to throw all the cigars out.
think of the disappointment when that day comes. And I mean, I know you've had the same opportunities as I have to smoke some excellent cigars
Exactly.
that a lot of people may not have had their hands on. Right? And imagine the day that day comes and you're sitting there, you finally light that stick up and you take that first puff and you're like, ugh, this is garbage.
You know what?
You waited all that time
I can see it happening because I've got bit in the ass a few times.
All right, so just smoke it already. That's it.
Oh my gosh!
Try something new with him later.
Yeah. So.
Exactly. Something new will be out by then.
Yeah.
I want to. You gave me a stick.
So
give me a stick. I'm going to smoke it.
So you don't have a retirement stick lined up?
No, but hopefully, people that know that I'll be retiring and
You first.
I'm just saying, they could give me a good stick that
That's
I never
all right.
had.
You got it, Maria.
So you know what? Because of what I do for a living, I've learned to enjoy every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
very true.
Yes, I plan for tomorrow, but because I like to smoke, you give me a good stick, I'm gonna smoke it today.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see about tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I get it, people put their cigars up. I know people that have cigars for, years on end. And that's okay. But my preference, you give it to me today, I'm going to smoke it today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
going to enjoy it because...
You know what?
So on average, how many cigars do you actually smoke a day? You.
So, any 2 to 3 a day.
That's it.
If I'm here. If I'm here, I'll go to 2 or 3. If I'm at work, I'll try to sneak one in on my lunch break while I'm at work. But 2 to 3 a day. Yesterday I had maybe 5 or 6 yesterday. So I was down in Miami with my cigar group, and what's going on, Tony? How you doing? And we were at the house at Louis Quaver's house. I must have smoked like 11 cigars that day.
Wow.
It was
He was smoked out.
Smoked, like because we got there at,
smoked out. Like that's not even smoked. That's a smoked out.
Like we got there. We got there at 1, and Louis he's just there, just like going to his personal humidor and just pulling out cigars. He goes, I got more. Don't worry about it. I got more. Just pull it out. And like he's pulling out I forgot the Sangre Nueva. He's pulling out that one, which is an amazing cigar. So like I'm burning down one. I go, I haven't tried this size yet. So I tried in all 3 sizes, and I'm just and one after another. Then we had the Patrimonio, which is one of my all-time favorite cigars, and I'm just burning those down like no tomorrow. It was such an amazing time, but then we woke up the next day around like 11, and 11:30 it was light up and smoking throughout that day. It was that weekend alone. I had to smoke like 25 cigars that weekend alone. I was like, I got back.
I'm gonna send you to rehab.
But listen, I need like
Cigar Anonymous.
yeah, for real. My sons, they go, Dad, you're addicted. You're addicted to cigar. I go, I'm not addicted. It's so relaxing, and and I go, it keeps me out of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I could be out running the streets, man. Not get myself into trouble that way, but just going around, like talking to girls and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Get myself in trouble that way.
Mm-hmm.
Get myself in trouble that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
Another 18
child
years.
support.
yeah.
That's why you ain't going out there, because you already have
Yeah,
that.
give me another one.
Exactly. Y'all listen.
You want to go to the club? No,
No, I am fine. I am good. I am good. Like
on average, I smoke. If I'm on vacation, I'm off the day. Forget it. I'm like 5-6 deep.
Oof. There we go.
7 maybe by the end of the night. But if I'm at work and I'm doing all that, if it's summertime, I'm at least 4 in. 4 in by the time I get home.
Wow.
And then I have my last one, like
Yep.
the 5th one or something before I, call it a night. But, for the most part, when we talk about like how many cigars we have a day, it all depends too on the size. Sometimes you have a little Robusto just to kind of, just because all you have is this much time to smoke it. Because I don't want to be rushing when I'm smoking.
I don't like smoking in a rush.
Yeah.
Or in the cold.
Oh, in the cold. Yeah.
Oh, listen.
Like I can't be
working.
Listen. I have been out in 30-degree weather outside my job. Freezes my ass off with a coffee.
I just can't. I like when I light up my cigar. When I cut my cigar. When I light up my cigar. That's me time. That's. I don't know. I can't be standing out there.
Yeah.
You know
what?
what?
All you focus is trumpet.
Listen. I'm like, this right here is keeping me from snapping one of y'all necks at this damn job. So it's like for me, like I'll have my coffee, and like I'll have my coffee. I have my coffee in one hand, keep the hand cold, keep the hand warm, and I'll just switch it out. Once one hand get cold, switch out the other. But like I need that me time. But it's the one thing about smoking in the city is it's kind of hard to have that time because everybody passing you be looking at you like, you like, and like they like you don't want to blow the smoke in nobody's face. Like I remember I used to go to Bryant Park before they put the signs up that it's a $500 fine. So I would go in Bryant Park. I would go to the corner, and I would just sit there and just relax and people watch. Now, now I go right in front of my job, and I'll walk a little bit down from the job, and I'll smoke, and I'll have my cigar right there. Yeah. So yeah. So okay, here we go. Yeah, we got so. Yeah, Matt in the morning says I agree with NO. Smoking is common, makes me slow down. Plus helps with the two little kids decompose, which is very very true. Listen, Texas. Let me tell you this, Texas. All right, we don't care about humidity here. Okay, if you know what, you lucky Sanjs in here. Like, so do you guys have a preferred humidity on your cigars?
I find that it depends on where the cigar has been. I've had cigars that have been sitting on my, above my humidor, just sitting there in the box, and they've been fine for a long length of time. But then again, our cigars don't sit too long because we smoke them.
I have a cedar chest that I converted into my humid.
Yeah.
Because I started with the little punk ass box,
Yeah.
you know, the 4 cigars,
Yeah.
and then I have
Don't-
6, so I gotta carry 2 plus the box, and then at home I had like 6 Humies,
Yeah.
one on top of the other ones. Listen, there gotta be a better way. So I have a nice big seated chest that I turn into a Humie, and that's why I have.
You know what? I love how you call it a Humie. I've never heard anybody call it a Humie.
I have my Humie.
You know what? It takes too much to be saying humidor.
Yeah.
My humidor.
Yeah. A Humie is
Humie is
cute. It's cute. I like that. Listen, I don't keep my cigars in no humidity at all. They just sit. They're ready to go. Just like Sanjs' basement, no humidity, ready to go. So
The only thing I don't do is I don't take my cigars out of my house that I'm not gonna smoke.
yeah,
Because when I take it out of my house, you're changing the temperature on the cigar. And then I don't leave it in my car overnight, especially in the winter in the heated sun, because that also changes things, So I tend to have my little carrier. I come in and out of the house with it. I go out in places with it, but whatever I take out, I know I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna smoke these. Like, these ain't coming back home.
You know what? I always keep my cigar bag, and during the winter time, they be bricks until you heat them up, and maybe you get like a few puffs in, then they loosen up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Texas Torres has another question. He says, going back to the Oscar cigars earlier, I really enjoy the Leaf Maduro, the Superfly, and the Big Johnny, the Brazilian the CAO Brasilia.
I like
is
this one.
Yeah, and the BX3 is great as well. I don't have a problem with any of those sticks, except for maybe the Brasilia. Brasilia is okay.
I like the Superfly.
The Superfly is not. Yeah.
You know what? Her husband got me a box for, I think it was my birthday or Christmas.
Yeah.
The
2012.
The 2012 Lanceros.
Okay. Yeah.
Every day. Every day I will make my coffee, sit on my porch, and just and that sets my whole day. Like, I don't care what the hell is going on in the world. It's just my day is already lined up to what I set it up for.
That's right.
Wow. So Texas Toy had another question for you guys. He said, "Have you ever had the Punch Diablo?"
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I had the Punch Diablo.
Yeah.
The punch line itself, I think that the majority of all the punches, they're pretty on point.
Yeah.
I got hooked to the Lancero, the chop suey.
Okay. Yes.
Oh man, it's great.
You know what's what I
There's
like?
egg roll. There's spring roll.
The egg roll is good. I like the egg roll a lot.
There's that whole line, that whole Chinese line. It's the
I just recently had the signature. It was a little robusto, and I really enjoyed the signature.
Yeah,
it's simple, but it had nice smooth flavor all the way.
Yeah.
So from the guys that are watching, I want to know, from their perspective, when a woman goes inside a cigar shop, what goes through their mind?
So for the guys that are in the chat, let us know what goes through your mind when a woman goes into the cigar shop. Leave your answers in the comments this way, and I'll read them off. So this way, the ladies can know what you guys think.
What's their opinion on us being there in general too? Because that's the other thing,
And is there a difference between when they see us come in as a group of women smokers? Most of the time, she and I travel together, so we're both there. We're both talking to each other, so we have our own entertainment. Or is there a difference when they see a woman walk in alone, which I do often as well? I just walk into random cigar shops when I have nothing to do in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one there sometimes. Other times people show up and they're wondering what the hell I'm doing there. So
Enzo Lorenzo says, which is very interesting. So I'm pretty sure you guys heard the term dry boxing now, right? So like he was saying, he doesn't see the point of having a humidor if you're dry boxing. Which something I totally agree with, because what's the point of having it at 69 degrees to take it out and dry it out anyway? It doesn't make sense. You know, like you better off just leaving it out anyway.
Well, but then that's the purpose of toasting your cigar.
Yeah, yeah,
Because you're warming it up when you're toasting your cigar.
yeah. So, you know, I'm not a fan of dry boxing. I don't see the point in it, but you know, certain people love doing it, and you know, NP21 says, "Hey, what's up, you know, and ladies."
Hello.
Dark King Gaming says, "What's up, y'all?" So, you know, going back to so like, you know, I'm smoking this punch, the 2024, and
Yeah, that's the dragon.
the dragon, yeah,
Fire.
yeah,
Dragon. Which one is that?
yeah. Can't. I'm not impressed. I like punch because it has that spice to it, and this one doesn't seem to have that same kick, that normal punch kick that you normally get from a cigar.
No, wait till you get to them. Little bit, go get up to here.
Yeah. Okay.
Up to here, and
Okay.
then we talk.
Okay.
But no, I had that about 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, my thing is that it's so important to eat before you have a strong cigar because let me tell you, you feel sometimes nauseous, lightheaded. It's like you get all these, and it's like it's not even enjoyable. The cigar.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just like the other day, we were working in the shop trying to get things together, and because we were so busy, we don't eat. And I drink coffee all day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like you give me coffee, and I'm just happy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, what are we gonna smoke? We haven't smoked. It's 3 o'clock. What are we gonna smoke today? She's like, well, I think we gotta eat first. Like the whole day, I went on just on coffee, you know, running on coffee, and I like to eat before I smoke.
Mm-hmm.
In the mornings though, I don't like to eat with my first,
Yeah.
you know, my coffee. I can have my coffee and my stick, whatever I pick in the morning to start my day.
Mm-hmm.
I can eat afterwards, but obviously it's not gonna be, you know,
The same,
too strong. But in the morning, I like my coffee and my stick. That's it.
I wish that I was able to like have a stick first thing in the morning. I wake up because I got to be work at 6, so there's no way in hell.
Yeah, me either.
Like,
See, I was working 11 a.m. to 7 o'clock.
Yeah, that's
so.
No, you had your time.
So mentally, I had time to prepare myself.
Yes.
What they say right there.
So Texas Taurus says, I think it's cool that women take part as well. When I was 17, I worked at a cigar club, and women would frequently as well back in 1997. It's always been normal to me. And Texas Taurus says, very rarely she tells, hold up. Okay, all right, here we are. My wife hates cigars, but was going to buy me a humidor for Christmas, so I guess she loves them after all. Very rarely she tells me one of my cigars doesn't smell that bad, which is true. I've only seen women come in with other men into the cigar lounge. I've yet to see a woman or a group of women enter my local cigar lounge.
Where are they located?
Oh, so Enzo, where you located at, brother? I would jump. Sorry. I would just keep to myself either way because I have a crazy Latina girlfriend.
Enough said.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And he says, I 100% agree with this comment. I'm not trying to get stabbed. I usually do coffee and cigars on Sunday mornings. It's great.
I must agree.
Matt in the morning says, I think it's great. New smokers. Well, Matt is a new smoker, but Matt has gone deep into cigars. So I've seen Matt buy buy some stuff, you know. Uh, so new smoker here, and I noticed that women smokers in the cigar lounge seem to be somewhat rare. I think there are unfortunately some out there that think it's only a men thing, which
Which that was my mindset at first too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because some people think that a cigar lounge is a gentleman's club, where it's like for married with children. It's like no ma'am.
I have to
Female
tell you,
limited.
I've gone to some cigar shops and I have met some wonderful gentlemen
Hmm.
with from different professions, down from the plumber to the lawyer to the pilot, and I have created a network of people
Hmm.
that I don't think that if I was if I wasn't a cigar smoker that I would have met such a great
Mm-hmm.
group of people. So to me, um, going to a cigar lounge and having conversation with guys, girls, because I talk to everyone. It doesn't matter to me. Um, but I kind of like the setting in a lounge where you could have conversations, meet people,
Hmm.
because you never know. Like we came here one time, we were just having random conversations, and we learned about taxes. You learned about
Mhm.
you learn it when you go and you're open to um, to speak to people about cigars. You learn so much about cigars, brands, um, things in life that otherwise you won't learn if you smoke by yourself at home.
Hmm.
I like smoking, on my porch.
Yep.
I enjoy smoking in my own little piece, but I also enjoy smoking, in a cigar shop.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
referring to what someone said about women, I guess not feeling comfortable in a cigar lounge.
Hmm.
That's one of the things that we kind of set out to do. It's like we're both female smokers. We know the experience from being in a lot of other lounges. We travel a lot and go to lounges in other parts of the states and countries, and we see what it's like and what we like and don't like. And that's why we've dreamt of opening our own shop and
Hmm.
making it a place where women will feel comfortable, because there aren't a lot of cigar lounges where you have a woman in charge or owning the place, I guess.
Hmm.
A lot of places have their hostesses, I guess you would call
Yeah.
them, the pretty girl that's there to look cute for the guys, so they would buy more cigars. But we want to be a place where women will feel comfortable coming in if they have questions. Hey, we're women too.
Exactly.
Talk to us.
Hmm.
If we don't know, we'll find out.
Yeah.
And the
Exactly.
men that go there may not feel, they got to be a certain kind of man. Honestly, we have a very good personal friend of ours
Hmm.
who told us, well, it's a good idea what you guys are doing, but you always have to have a man here, because a lot of men won't feel comfortable if it's just you two, because they feel like only a man's gonna know what they're talking about,
Hmm.
and that's something that I see. It will change.
We looked at each other like,
Hmm.
should we stab him now?
Yeah, later.
Or should we throw him out now?
And I know that he did not meant to
He didn't mean it maliciously.
maliciously. He didn't mean it maliciously, because he's like supporting with the shop. The shop is not even open, and he goes and he makes sure, okay, where you go, So I know that he is supporting our idea 100%.
Yep.
But
He's
It's
giving you
just-
that male perspective.
but
like,
then he still have that male perspective of, you got to have a man. Well, I've sat down to talk to men that know nothing about nothing
Hmm. Right about that.
And if
about a
that's the type,
cigar.
and if that's the type of man you are,
Sure.
then we don't want you at our shop anyway.
Anyway, exactly.
So
Exactly. And that's the truth. So Cigarhead TV said, "What's going on, guys? How you guys doing?" He Enzo is from LA. Oh, yeah.
You know what I have noticed though? I've noticed that I've noticed here in the city, here in Jersey, the city, New York, and
Tri-state area.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. I noticed that there are not that many female smokers that do come to a lounge. There's not that many of us in that sense. Um, and the ones that do, technically, some of them don't go in there with the intention of just having a cigar. You know what I mean? But down south, and
Mhm.
I've gone to Virginia and I've gone to Florida, it's like the women outcount the men in these lounges
Mm.
a lot of the times. Where
And
I'm
there's a lot
even
of
like,
women own shops down south.
yeah, and I was like, I remember my first time when I went down to Florida. I actually went into a cigar lounge in Florida my first time, and I was like, oh my god, how many women are in this place? And there are very few men, and I was like taken back, like, oh, this is nice, but at the same token, I was like, this feels kind of weird. And then I was like, no, but this is such a good thing, and they're smoking. A lot of them were inside the lounge. They respect the lounge. They're smoking their cigars, but outside the lounge, like when they have like a big patio, big fire pit, whatever, you see them ladies. They got everything. They got their little Hefador with their cigars. They got their cutters. They got their big old bag of things, and it's like they're all like set up, like like they've been doing this for quite some time now. Right?
We went to Miami, and it was 4 of us, and we on Calle Ocho. We're sitting down, and we're playing dominoes.
Mm.
Bro, I felt like I was a creature from I don't know where. Men walking by, obviously women,
children.
they were just taking pictures of us like we were like they smoking and playing dominoes. It's like one guy stood there. It's like, you guys know how to play. I wanted to throw him with a domino. It's like, you guys know how to play domino, and you're smoking. Oh, that's cute. I was
What? Wow.
I was like,
Oh no, he trying to
I
die.
was like, no, this motherfucker just didn't say that was cute.
He trying to die.
And you would think, like you said, down south is in Florida. You said there's a lot of places where women own cigar lounges, but in certain areas, like
It was
Miami,
more tourist. It was more like the crowd that was walking by. They were more like tourists. So we all into our that day. I think we spent like 9 hours at that cigar shop. No lie, we were played out, smoked out, drank out, everything. We had such a good time, but it was like we were laughing because I'm like, are we different than the women that's at the restaurant across the street? We sitting down playing our dominoes. It got so funny to where one of the regulars at the cigar lounge was catered to us. Like, I never seen girls come in and
bringing our drinks, emptying our ashtrays.
he's like, you girls
Don't get up from your game.
just stop your game. But then, the tourists were like looking at us like, and they literally were walking with their head turned like,
Oh, can we take a picture?
oh yeah, that was the other thing. Like, oh, do you guys mind if we take a picture? I'm like,
Who knows what we ended up on these
Exactly. Like they got their Canon. Next thing you know, like you guys are being sold on Etsy.
yeah, right.
All of a sudden, we got different bodies on us.
Exactly. So we have a few more questions. Well, comments now. So it says, I love seeing women cigar smokers. I know in the cigar industry has such a defined and different palates. They pick up on certain notes that I would never pick up on, which is true. And that's one thing I always say. I always say women have better palates than men because you guys are able to describe different things than we are. Like guys like are very basic. Women are very detailed. And also too, when it comes to as far as picking up spices, notes, stuff like that, you guys can go and say, this reminds me more detailed of these notes than a man would say, leather or the usual stuff. So I think women that I think if a woman says that no, I like this cigar, he's like, okay, you know what, like there's something in there that she's picking up that I need to really dive deep in and see what she's picking up. So yeah, all right, and we got another one from Matt. He says a cigar shop. He says a cigar shop in Milwaukee I've been to, part owned by women. She's the most knowledgeable person on cigars that I've ever met. Very, 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 very true. Women are very knowledgeable when it comes to cigars. It's very like it's like certain women just they grow up in tobacco, so it's like how do you discredit her knowledge? Because for like Fuente's daughter's in the business. You know,
Went to his sister.
yeah, yeah.
Let's start with the sister first, right?
Yeah. She's in the business, and then you have from EPC, his daughter is in the business. And I believe she tried to blend her own cigar. Without her father's help. So, women play a major part in the cigar. And you got Karen Berger.
Oh, I love her sticks.
Like Karen Berger is another big one. That.
But we also have history in the cigar making industry, and
yes.
And all those things. Like they back in the 1800s or so, when tobacco was introduced here, when was introduced first to Europe, right? They brought this tobacco from Spain and other countries or whatever, and they brought it to Europe to try. And when the men were smoking it in their prestigious lounges, right? There was one gentleman that had a lounge and very well off, and he was offering cigars and alcohol, bourbon, whiskey, and things like that in his facility. And then one day, the wife was interested in smoking too, and so she started to smoke. But she started to notice that her fingers were beginning to tint from the tobacco, and she didn't like that. So she put a little band of fabric bands around this, and that was the first invention of all these bands that you see now. It was a woman who did that. A woman who started that. So we have like history. If I go into it, we got history of our contribution towards that no one ever speaks about.
A lot of the cigar rollers are women.
Yeah. Yes.
Are women.
Yeah.
So when people have that perception, women don't know about sticks. I know a lot of women
who rolls sticks.
And they could tell you just by looking at the stick. Like I have a few older women in DR. You give them a stick, the minute they light it up, they can tell you what's in it, what's made of. And I'm like trying to absorb all that knowledge. It's like, how can you just like years of experience, years of rolling tobacco.
But it's also training your palate too, because you and I, we could have the same amount of years smoking, but if you are just the type of person that I'm only sticking to this cigar, this brand, I don't like anything other than this, well then you're not expanding your palate. You're not training yourself to have other experiences with other cigars, and I think that by doing that also like increases our ability of picking up the minute you start smoking something.
Yeah, it's the one thing is too is that like when you see videos of factories, you see rows and rows of women. They're rolling their cigars, but they're also smoking their cigars.
Yeah.
So you can't you really can't discredit it, and the one that one day soon I get my passport. That's the one thing I'm looking forward to is actually going to the factory and actually like going on a tour and seeing how everything is done. Because I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure about you ladies, but one day I would I would like to put out just a cigar of my own, and go down there with Sanj, and me and Sanj just sit there and just come out with a project, which is with me and him come out with our own project together, and it won't be something big, but it'll be something like limited edition, just like the Oreos were, something small, and it'll just be a cigar that.
By the way,
oh,
I gotta have one of the Oreos. I haven't had.
You haven't had an Oreo yet?
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
I'm sorry, I've been hoarding them. I've
Man.
gotten
Well,
4 packs
because the box, the package came right,
Yeah.
and it was signed. So she was like, "Oh, we got this." I was like, "Oh, but that package is signed. We can't open now."
Oh my god! Yeah.
So I didn't open it.
open.
It's gonna get smoked. It's
Yeah.
gonna get smoked. But
Lord.
I just kind of like the whole project behind it.
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect
Yeah.
for the whole project
Yeah.
behind it. So I kind of like I saw it and I'm like,
I brought 2 more yesterday.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm buying,
so today will be the day.
every
It's just that I thought that the whole project behind it, I have to, I have a lot of respect for Sanjs, even though, I get cursed out every day.
Mhm.
But
That's
it's just,
love.
Yeah.
that's the way he
Very
shows
love.
love to me, so I take it. But I just think that the whole project behind it, I have a lot of respect for
Yeah.
it. And for those who,
Mhm.
don't know what I'm talking about, or I'm sure you guys, everybody knows what I'm talking about, I think the whole project is just,
Amazing. Yeah.
It's
Especially
amazing.
people who are dog lovers.
Yeah,
Dog enthusiasts.
yeah.
Sorry, fuck them cats. I can't.
I can't do cats.
I can't do cats.
I love to see them far away.
Yeah. No,
I'll feed them if I have to.
nah.
But I can't have
Some
them.
of them are cool, but
No.
they're
See,
not all of them. Some of
Cats
them
are bullies because I'm very allergic to cats. Like a cat comes by me, I become Will Smith in Hitch. Everything just swells up and my eyes are closed.
Maybe on your project you could just look for cats.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, your little limited edition.
Yeah.
Your little limited edition that have a cat face on it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a cat face with an X on it. Yeah, take him out. Like,
Cat took them out.
take him out. But like my best friend growing up, he had a cat named Pep, and Pep would first of all he would rob me for my food because I couldn't pet him or nothing. I could if I touched him I would break out. So Pep would come up, take his paw, take my food. He would come across and just like rub across me. And I'm
We do
like,
that on purpose.
on purpose.
I think cats do that.
Yeah,
They-
they were filling you out.
and then I would go up and start.
Yeah,
Scratching.
done.
I started scratching my ear. My eyes become watery, and I started sneezing uncontrollably. And I'm like, man, this motherfucker. And he'll just look at me from the other corner of the room, and I know he's just laughing at me, just laughing. I go. One day I'm gonna get my revenge on you.
I want to know, like, when you go to a lounge, what is the type of experience you're looking for? And the reason why I ask that is because when I go to a lounge, I dislike the boom 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 music.
Yeah,
I
hate
dislike
music. Yeah.
all of that. Like, you lose.
It's a party scene.
Yeah, party
that's
scene.
Like you don't want the party
I don't
scene
wanna have
when
to
you go
yell.
to lunch.
Yeah,
I don't want to have to yell at people when I'm in the lounge. I don't want to yell.
I don't know. Like,
yeah.
some people like that.
No.
A lot of people are losing the basics
Yeah.
of smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
And that, it's a gentleman's
Well-
thing, and that's kind of like, and not everywhere of course, but here in Jersey, I'm noticing it's like going out the window. The
Mm-hmm.
music gotta be loud as fuck. Nobody is conversating. Everybody's on their phone.
Yeah.
It's losing its momentum. It's losing it's losing the history, the purpose of being able to enjoy a cigar.
You know.
And then with that
Mhm.
too, the flavor cigars
Mm-hmm.
in the lounge.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yep.
I cannot sit
No,
next
me
to.
neither.
No.
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 I will get up.
Take that acid. I'm out
Like
of here.
I will get up.
Yeah.
And relocate myself to another part.
Man, I
Yeah.
had somebody smoking a black and mild
What?
in a cigar lounge, and
What?
I was like, "Who said he could smoke that?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I said, "What are you smoking?" He's like, "Oh, black and mild." I was like, "Oh man,
You know
what you do? What are you doing?"
How would you feel if you're sitting in a cigar lounge right now and someone next to you comes over here and starts setting up a hookah?
Oh no,
No.
no, but it's happened.
That's
It's happened.
happened.
It's
It's
actually
happened.
happening now.
That's
It's
another
happening.
trend, and I think it's mostly because these, again, like you said, they're losing the essence of what cigar smoking was about, and the young crowd is doing it more for what they hear in the music videos, or the trendy song, or
Mhm.
oh, look at the label I'm smoking, and this is what I got, showing that I got money to buy this,
Mhm.
instead of just for the enjoyment of the cigar itself.
I think Sanjs was an easy place to pick for me, just because, like, I refer to this place as a tobacconist lounge. If you love cigars, you love tobacco, this is the place to come, because you're always gonna get knowledge, and somebody's always willing to take their time with you and teach you. So this was an easy pick, because I love cigars. So going to everywhere around, like I enjoy the cave. I enjoy the cave because they have the domino tables there. But the only problem with the cave, they got the music playing. And it's very clicky. So like you'll have people in the corner over there, people in the corner over here, where here everybody's family from the moment you walk in. Like you'll never see just one group of people in a corner. You know, it's always going to be a vibe of everybody's welcome. And if you want to come in and you want to sit down next to somebody and and engage with them, all right, cool, yeah, well, yeah.
See, that's why there's a difference between a lounge and a social club.
Yep.
And the social clubs are like nearly extinct at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is a lounge, and now all the rules are starting to break with those lounges. So you got the hookah coming in, you got people with their flavor cigars that are just changing everything. You also have the loud music, like you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a lounge, supposedly a lounge in Virginia, about a month back. When I walked into the lounge, the first area is, of course, the counter, the humidor, or whatever. All of a sudden, there was like a closed door, and there's a DJ in there, literally a DJ in there playing music. So I said, I was traveling with some people, and I said, and they were there once before, so they already knew the vibe, and I didn't know. So I go in. I'm like, let me take a look. I go in. It's like this red light special. So red light is smoke, like you could cut through the smoke. Then they have all these like curtains for like little separate divided areas. So here I am. I go through one of the rooms, and there's a bunch of women all sitting together. They're all smoking. Then you see a couple of men here on the side. And you got the DJ. I'm like, where am I? Where am I? So I backed out. I was like, if we're gonna stay here to smoke, we're gonna smoke outside, because they had like the setup, like the benches or whatever, and we smoked out there. And the majority of the men were outside. The majority of the women were inside. In that type of environment, and I was like, oh no, oh hell no.
I can't. I don't enjoy. I could go for a little while if they play the music, okay, but that boom boom. I don't know. I can't connect with my stick, and like to have that enjoyment with all that noise. You can't talk, because by the time you finish,
yeah,
Like,
you go out of there.
like even in our situation, we met because we met here.
Mm-hmm.
And we were able to conversate. I didn't know you. I didn't know your husband when you guys came in, but we were able to meet here because we were all in one place having a single conversation. if we would have met at one of those other places, you would have been sitting somewhere with your husband. I would have been over here on my own. Someone else, there wouldn't have been any interaction.
No, and that's where I feel like everything is being lost with that. That's why I say there's a big difference between that lounge and that social club. And this I find it to be the social club because it keeps to its tradition.
Mm-hmm.
That you're coming in here, you're not coming in here for music, you're not coming in here to even there's bars now inside these lounges where now there's a full service bar.
Yep.
And they're serving your liquor and they're serving your beer and mind you, it's not a bad thing to like have something to drink while you're having your cigar, But I'm the type of person that I don't believe in pairing. I don't believe in pairing.
Yeah.
Like there's so many people out there that go, oh my God, this cigar is perfect with a whiskey, or is perfect with this, is perfect with that. In the morning, yeah, I could do a coffee with my cigar. Absolutely. During the day, yeah, if I already know this cigar and I've been smoking it, I already know what it is. I'm getting my enjoyment regardless of whatever it is I'm pairing it with because I already know the cigar. But when you don't know the cigar, it totally takes away from your whole experience of that cigar. You can have a whiskey with this cigar, right? And then tomorrow you'll have some tequila with that cigar. I guarantee you that you're not going to taste the same cigar.
At all.
You're not going to taste it. It's going to taste totally different.
Yeah, I'm not into pairing.
But a lot of people, a lot of lounges also do parties like that where you go in and they're pairing it with something. I know this one person who is like she's like she's a rep of one of the cigar lines, and and she does that. She'll come into the cigar lounge and she'll rep that cigar, but then she'll be like, oh, this cigar is paired nicely with this, is paired nicely with that, but to each his own, I guess. Right?
I think that's more so in the person, because this stick may not. We all could be smoking the same stick, and we all may pick up a different taste. So, for you to say, and this is my personal opinion, this whiskey pairs great with that cigar. Okay, but I may have it and don't like it.
Yeah.
So I think that's
there was
a preference and
mystery. Yeah. Yes, then I read one. Arnold Schwarzenegger is always on the majority of the covers of Cigar Aficionado, right? So I read one of the articles, and it has said something about like how he loves his cigars with tequila, and how he was introduced to this was that one day he was at a lounge somewhere, and the gentleman behind the counter was like, "Oh, let me have your cigar," and purposely dipped his cigar in the tequila, the tip of it, right? And he goes first. He says, "Smoke the cigar and tell me how you like it." He's like, "Oh, it's pretty okay. It's nice." First of all, you're not always gonna get the flavors or the entire flavor of the cigar when you first light it. You're gonna get wrapper mostly of anything. So then he says, "All right, you smoked it, no problem." He dips it. After he dips it, he starts to smoke it. He's like, "Oh wow, this is great." It could, because it completely changed the cigar. So now it changed it to maybe what he likes for his palate,
which is a sweeter cigar.
Yeah,
because
that's what he made.
Because the sugar in the agave.
And for someone like me, I'm not a drinker, so everything pairs great with water and
Hey,
or a Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Pairs for her. It pairs perfect with a Coca-Cola.
But I tell you that soda, Coca-Cola, is a lifesaver. Whenever you're smoking those really hardcore cigars where they're like strong as hell, man, I remember one day I was smoking a cigar and it was a ABO, it was a blue label ABO, and I remember smoking it and I was feeling dizzy. I was like, oh my God, like this is like it. And that's when I was like, little by little, my palate was changing. Like I was able to tolerate a little stronger cigar, because I like the pepper too in my cigar. So I was like, all right, let me try the next level up, right? So that particular day, here I am, I was smoking it, and I'm like, woo, like I was feeling it, dizzy. So I said, oh my God, I can't get up. Like it was one of those things. So, just because I couldn't get up, I was like, you know what, let me just not just sit here like in a daze. So I picked up the magazine. I started to look, and the words on the magazines were bouncing. I was like, this isn't good. And I was like, how am I gonna get this to go down? So then there was a gentleman next to me, and he goes, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I think I need a little water or something." He goes, "Oh, that cigar hit you on the head." He goes, "All right, I'll be right back." He went and got me a can of Coke. Came back, I drank it, and let me tell you, it was like soon after, I was like, whew.
That was the savor that
Yeah, it was my savor, yeah.
With my strong cigars, I like to have Coke, which is, some people.
Or at least a ginger ale, just to get some fizz, that little fizz.
Yeah. Anyone else has questions?
Yeah, of course. So it's great that you brought up Arnold, because Texas Taurus says, "Who is your favorite cigar celebrity smoker?"
Me. I don't follow up on who's smoking.
You know what? I have to be honest with you. The majority of the celebrities that are smokers that claim that they're smokers, they're really not smokers.
Right.
They're just in it for that cigar is really being sold because of a celebrity, and people are buying it, and because of the price point too, because they're like, oh, this is so and so's. Oh, this is Michael Jordan's cigar. Like, oh yeah, and they're paying that $60-$70 for that cigar or plus just to show status. They truly aren't. All of them are truly not smokers. I mean, I know Michael Jordan is a big smoker. You got Arnold Schwarzenegger, like I just mentioned. He's a big smoker. You got a few more people that are big smokers.
Stallone
is a big smoker.
What about female celebrities that smoke? How many actually do smoke?
Yeah, I would love to see, because The Rock was on Cigar Aficionado, and I would love to know what he smokes, because you like people like that, everything with them is price point. So of course they're gonna go get Cubans. They're gonna go get the most expensive Davidoffs, and from just being here and working the register here, like Davidoff people are Davidoff people. That's what they smoke. You don't like anything other than that, because it's a certain type of I'm not gonna say consistency, but it's a very clean smoke. It's very clean, so there's no harshness to it. It's like we got cigars here from Warp. Some of those Warps are harsh. They are harsh. They are peppery. You smoke it like, oof.
Listen, the Liga.
Yeah.
You got the Liga line, period.
Yeah. Harsh.
That's harsh.
Then
you got now the Gurkha. You got the LFDs. They're all on that level of like harshness.
I like the LFDs.
You got the yeah. I mean, I enjoy my LFDs, but when I want to have one, I already know what's coming. I already know.
And when you touch on the price point thing, also as a cigar smoker that smokes, like you said, 3, 4, 5 cigars a day, am I going to smoke 5 Davidoffs a day?
No.
We're not at that level. We're not Arnold,
Yeah.
But so the price has a lot to do with it, especially when you're going to smoke as many cigars as we do.
And I think the one thing too is that when you're smoking like most of the time they're smoking the white label, which is going to be lighter cigars. So you can blow through 5 of them with no problem. Like you're not smoking 5 flatheads in one day. You smoke one, you're like, I'm good. Like you're not gonna be able to smoke or unless you're Erica, like put down like 2 diggers in one day. I wish Erica was here, because East.
I haven't seen her in a minute too.
Oh yeah, I know who it is.
So and you see what Erica smokes, like it's like big ring gauge, big green gauge. And I'm just like, Erica could put down some sticks. She can go and she can hold her own with anybody. Like for a challenge, I smoked 2 diggers at one time, and I was just like, and I'm like, this is nothing, but just to take that much just to be able to get that heavy nicotine at one shot and not be fazed by it or get buzzed by it.
Well, that's called training.
Yeah.
That's called training right there.
Yeah, like
because you, as a new smoker, if you start something like that, forget it. You'll be on the floor. You don't want to be able to get up from your seat.
But I think also, like Sanjs says, some people they smoke heavier cigars because they're chasing that buzz, and they want that
They want that little high,
that high,
buzz, yeah.
that high that you get from the cigar because they can't smoke with it.
You know what? You grab one of those white David Off-White series,
yeah,
and you be in a beating sun of 90+ degrees. Yeah. That'll give you a high regardless.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Like honestly, like I am 0-3 against the late hour. The Devil of Late Hour kicked my ass 3 times, and you know what? And I'm like, you know what? Like it, like I just know that it got my number. Like I can smoke a Perdomo 12-year barrel age, no problem. But for some reason, that barrel aged tobacco in the late hour takes me out.
And the late hour is one of my favorites in the David House. I could smoke 2 or 3 of those.
But
again, I don't have.
Yeah.
Not that I don't have the money to, but
yeah,
that's an expensive habit.
It is.
It really is.
It really is because you're talking about a start and it's like maybe $25-$27 for just for a Robusto of that, and to be able to find something that's even close to that, as far as just you're getting something clean and gives you that and will give you that kind of buzz. It's hard, and one like when you guys were first starting out, like what were you guys kind of go to before? Well, you said yours was always the Oscar, and hasn't changed yet.
No, I mean, and I have very good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You smoke everything. Like, you smoke everything.
I'm not that's too dark or that's too strong or that's the size. Well, the size does matter. Because I'm not doing
You're not doing those aside.
The size, size does matter. And I don't care what they say. Size does.
Yeah, but you know what? To be honest with you, even all those big cigars too, it's like it takes away from.
It does
from the cigar. You
Oh.
think bigger is better? Bigger is not better.
Yeah. No, it's not. Like, and gentlemen, you're getting it from women. Mm-hmm. Size doesn't matter.
Thank you,
well,
Peter.
In the cigar world, yes, it does because, like I said, big is not better.
Yeah. Peter, thank you. He says innocent is my favorite celebrity. Thank you. Thank you. Nice. I appreciate it, Peter. I appreciate it. Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, into each his own.
Yeah.
I don't criticize what people smoke.
Mm-hmm.
If you enjoy it, smoke what makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
But me myself, because I like to enjoy my cigar.
Yeah.
I don't see myself getting what is this the what size is that?
880.
8 by 80.
Like
770.
Like,
here's a funny thing.
I need 3 of my bags to carry if I'm going to carry. Yeah. I can't.
There's 2 guys that come up in here, and he comes in every week and he'll buy. Oh, 8.
I see him. I know exactly who you're talking about. Because I'm like,
he's a big dude.
He is. I know exactly who you're talking about because
he's a big dude, he's got to have big cigars.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe he has a lot of time to burn through those sticks. So I'm not sure. And again, whatever makes you happy, you smoke whatever makes you happy, and I'm a believer of that. But me personally, this is my favorite, like to all.
Yep.
is a Lancero.
Lancero all the way.
It's a Lancero. Anybody that comes out with a brand or a brand and they have a Lancero, the first size I'm going to try is the Lancero. From there, I could try everything else, but to me, the Lancero, it's the.
Mm-hmm.
So like
with all the other cigars too, like that I've tried, very few companies make Lancero versions of their cigars, right? So that's one. So when they didn't make the Lancero version of it, I would go for the Robusto, the smaller one, because that's everything is packed in a punch in those. But Lanceros are to me the ultimate best.
Like my favorite size of the SP is Robusto, because I feel like it gets right to the point. Like the Toros, it's good. Lancero to me is great, but the Robusto to me, like straight from your first couple pulls, it's right to it. And that to me is for any cigars my go. Like sound like one thing that Sanjs says, he goes when and this is a few years ago now, and he goes when people are reviewing cigars, they don't have time to sit there and smoke Toros all day. They smoke Robustos because they smoke Robustos because they can get them quick. And if you have to sit there and go through 5 cigars in one day, you want to get them quick, so this way you can smoke them, review them, and take down your notes.
So when they reviewing the 880s, like how do they do it on different days?
I guess so.
They smoke a quarter of it one day and be like, all right, I got these notes from it.
Yep.
The next quarter,
they mark it.
Yeah. And next day.
You know he has a 9x90.
Oh,
called the April Fool.
April Fool, yeah, I seen it.
A 9x90. Listen, you couldn't pay me. Like, that is not going nowhere near my mouth.
So it has to do with the look of it also.
Oh, yeah.
How you look smoking that 990.
Got you.
I don't see a lot of men smoking Lancero. Is it me or?
Yeah, I think they feel probably more feminine wise.
Yeah,
like it's like
I don't think it's that. I think that a lot of men don't understand the art of the Lancero. Because honestly, when you're smoking a cigar, you're smoking the wrapper. What's the best way to get the most of the wrapper? The Lancero. And a lot of people feel like they're getting skimmed for their money when they're smoking a Lancero. They're like, oh, this skinny, tiny cigar, And a lot of people during their lives, they'll say, oh my God, thank Sanjs for introducing me to Lanceros. Where's my lighter?
Oh shit! Somebody already put a hole on Sanjs furniture.
Oh yeah.
I have to beat somebody's ass.
Like, because then they understand the flavor. Like they start to get more flavors from that Lancero. So some people feel like, oh, the best size to smoke is the Toro. But it's like, no, a Toro is great to smoke because that's the size that they blend for. When they blend their cigar, they first start off in the Toro size. But that Lancero is kind of, and also it takes a whole different type of roller to be able to roll Lancero. It takes a different skill, and I understand that at first until Sanjs broke that down to me, just about the art of Lanceros. Mm-hmm. So, anytime a brand has like Illusione has a really good Lancero, that the Habano Lancero, amazing, and also Cavalier. Mm-hmm. That one is it's a chocolate stick. I was like, this is crazy. Like Miguel came in, Miguel goes, yo. He goes, dog. You got yo. He was like, "Yo, my G, you got to try this. Yo, I'm telling you, this Lancero was fire." I'm like, "All right, I tried out." I'm like, "Yo, this is on money." Like, so even the
That Girls Gone
go,
Gold.
yeah,
Girls Gone Gold.
yeah,
The Plasencia Fuego
yeah.
Lancero.
Mm-hmm.
You have the
I
Cavalier.
like the
The Cavalier Lancero.
Yeah. You know what? So Robert came in here about a month ago, and Sanjs wasn't here, so he was waiting around for Sanjs. And we were talking about the Girls Gone Gold, and he was just like, he didn't think that it was going to be a hit the way that it is. And he was like, really? He was like, yo, we can't keep them in stock here. He was like, wow, I had no idea.
And to think it's a Connecticut wrapper.
It's a Connecticut wrapper.
It's so deceiving. Like nowadays, like even with these Connecticut wrappers, it's like I mean, it's not a full body cigar at all, but it's a medium plus is what they would probably consider.
Yeah, well, it's like the Connecticut Shade. Connecticut Shade is a spicy cigar for Connecticut. Like Sanjs Connecticut has some nice spice to it.
I like that.
You know, like Sanjs Connecticut's are really, really good in it. And honestly, like, at least in my opinion, the Connecticut and the Lancero are two totally different cigars. They are two different cigars, all in stuff, because the Lancero to me has more of a woody, like a heavy woody note to it, and where the Toro has, you really get that vanilla in that spice. So to me, when people ask me, like, no, it's two to me, I always tell them it's two different cigars, because the flavor profiles are so different in the two, but they're the same blend. But that right there also tells you about when you're smoking a Lancero. You know, I'll call him back. No, my son's calling me. So, so it's two different. It's like every Vitola you're gonna get something different in each Vitola. But, and one thing that I was taught by Sanjs is that if you don't smoke them side by side, you won't be able to tell. He said if you smoke all three cigars and all three Vitolas, you're gonna get three different cigars. But you won't know that unless you're smoking all three at the same time. Back to back, all three. And he goes, you won't realize that, and most people won't realize that. And besides what was one cigar that kind of turned you guys off from?
Oh,
yeah, Partagas Double Black, I believe it was. I don't know if it was the circumstances of when I smoked it, or if it was the cigar itself. I've never tried it again to see if maybe because my palate has changed, maybe I can tolerate it a little more now. But that one time, I just couldn't. It was too much.
Yeah.
Mine was that Kentucky.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God! It's like you're licking the charcoal. From the beginning, I got to the middle, and it was even worse. I said, "Oh hell no! I'm not even doing
that cigar.
Never. I threw that shit away.
I tried it, and I wasn't even halfway, and I just
Oh my God! What enjoyment does anybody get from that cigar? I have no idea.
Somebody likes it.
Yeah.
There's somebody in the world that does like it. That's for sure. Because it's still selling.
Yeah. I don't know how.
But again,
everybody's tried it once.
Yeah, but that's the worst cigar I've ever had. That Kentucky one. Oof.
Yeah, that was.
I even bought two that day. I was like, I always buy two cigars, and I try one, and then the other one I would leave, I would put away just for another day or whatever. But this go around, I was like, can I exchange this? I was like, this is not gonna work for me.
What's funny is like the reason behind that was supposed to be made for barbecues.
Wait, so you are smoking a cigar that it's like you licking the coals from the barbecue, but you also eating barbecue too.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be something that.
So we did it wrong.
Yeah.
Shit, I should have had some ribs and stuff.
Maybe that would have changed the palate.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Like
Oh man, I've had so many of that, but I can't. The Godfather's watching, so I can't. I can't say anything about any brand. So yeah,
Oh yeah,
That's okay. That's all right.
Yeah.
We'll talk for you.
yeah,
We're guests.
yeah.
Of course, it's out later, but that's fine.
You don't do this. You don't do that.
Yeah.
Love you, Sanjs.
Yeah.
What I've learned, I have to tell you, and I tell everybody, when I get like new smokers and they talking about places and and I get into, I'm not going to say I get into arguments because they're not arguments. I believe what I believe and everybody else is entitled to believe whatever they want. But when I come here, there's not one day that I walk out without knowledge about a stick.
Exactly.
That's right. Yeah,
Exactly.
you learn something every time.
And I try to tell people, when you go there, you have to be open-minded to, you can't be set on, this is your belief and that's it, because
That's
then
it.
you don't learn.
Exactly.
And, everybody's like, oh, no.
And
When I come here, if I need knowledge, this is the place that I come to. Because even talking to the other guys, what do you think about this stick? Like, and I walk out, it's like, I feel like an expert when I go out of here. Because now I can talk shit.
Yeah.
I come here, build up my knowledge.
Exactly.
And then when people talking, I'm like,
that's bullshit.
yeah, that's bullshit.
That's bullshit.
Bullshit.
Yep.
I remember my first time when I came here and sat down and you already have your prior experience, right, of like cigars and things that you've read or whatever, and then you come here and you sit down with like what I call the guru, right?
Yeah.
So you sit down with the guru and you have yourself your session.
Yeah.
And when I tell you that first day that I sat with him, we were with Sanjs for 10 hours. I think we were here 11 hours probably.
Yep.
And the entire time was, try this cigar, try that cigar.
Yep. What do you taste?
What do you taste? And this is how you retrohale, taste that. What do you taste? It was like a whole like experience. It wasn't him trying to
Sell you the highest.
sell me anything.
Exactly.
He was schooling me to the point where I left here with a whole new perspective
on cigars. Yep.
On cigars and like a plethora of knowledge that I didn't even come in with. You know what I mean? And it was a what I would consider more of a humbling experience, because you don't get that from just anybody.
Just anybody. The other thing is that when you have that stick that it's $16, $17, $18,
why?
and you pick what your
Mm-hmm.
$18 stick, and then he gives you the $10 stick, and he tells you, "You like that stick? Now try this." And you're like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah.
How did it go from like 18 to $6
to
or $5?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how I have changed a lot of brands that I smoke.
Yeah.
Because I tried it the one time, I loved it. So what do? I go back to that $18 stick, that $20 stick.
Yeah.
But then you come here.
Yeah, and then
and
he almost knocks you down to reality. Like,
yeah. It's like, you like that stick? Try this one. And you're like, bro, I've been suckered for $18 all this fucking time. And this $10 stick is even better than. And honestly speaking, I have to say, anytime that he has changed, my point on one stick to another, it's always been on point. It's like
exactly.
He ain't selling you nothing.
I can't say, oh no, I didn't like that stick.
Yeah.
I got it. No, it's like wait, is it just two bands in the same blend, or is what's going on here? And again, I tell people, if you want to learn about sticks, then that's the place to go.
That's the place to go.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the truth.
And he's taught me things like, for example, you have all these same name brands that have been around for forever, but the quality of the cigar has changed. Like the
has gone down.
And so I tried a Andalusian bull.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I had a memory lapse for a second. But I had that bull.
I was wondering if you're
the new bull. Let's put it this way: the new bull. And I was like, I said, okay. And so I said to him, I bought it at this price point, which I'm not going to say because, then I feel like an ass all over again. But but I paid for that high price point on that cigar. And then he looked at me and he goes, I can't believe you did that. And I'm like, well, what do you, this is someone who read the hype, read all these things and was like, you know what, I got to have it. I got to try it. And so I did. I paid for it. And when he came here, he says, I want you to try the original one, like the first one made of this line, and tell me if you can tell the difference. It was night and day. I couldn't even believe it. I was like, wow, so taken back. And the original one was the best. Hands down. Hands down. He told me, you're gonna smoke that and you're gonna be like impressed. And I was very much impressed by just the original one. Now I have it in my humidor, and I think that the next person that goes, oh, I wanna, here you go. You can have it. Because it's not something that I would. He also has he has a spoiling point to himself too, right? Because he'll spoil you to death. He'll give you all these things that were original forms of those cigars, and it's like then you want to go back to that old cigar that you were enjoying so much, right?
But you can't get it anywhere.
Exactly.
So now it's like it spoils the enjoyment of like the most current cigar, because then you're like, oh damn, this one.
You know what?
And it's not like the they even call, oh, this is the Bull 2.
No, it's the same name.
Andalusian Bull. They just changed the quality of the product.
But that's along all the lines. I'm just putting the spotlight on this particular thing that happened to me. But that's for all the lines.
It's funny because Sanjs loves doing that.
Yeah.
He especially when I do my podcast, Sanjs will watch, and Sanjs goes, "Get your cigar and sit down." I remember I came in one day. Mario goes, "You're in trouble." He goes. He's waiting for you. I come in. He goes, "Get your cigar and sit down." For about an hour and a half, a beating. But but you know what? He goes, if you're gonna do this, this is how you have to do it. And ever since then, and even when he watches now, he goes, okay, you did this, and he'll point stuff out. And I go, okay, all right, I can improve on it. And he'll always go, all right, he'll go, that was good. I enjoyed that one. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yes. So, that's the one thing is, just like.
But there's nobody like him in this industry. And I haven't met anyone like him.
So.
And I've met a lot of people, but he is unique in his own way.
And
he is so rooted in like the foundation of like what cigars are supposed to be like. And the quality of them, and he has like he has some deep roots in it, which just speaks volume. When
I describe Sanjs, I always say there is no in between. It's either you love him or you're gonna hate him, and there's no in between with him. So and Sanjs says he has a lot of haters, and And I take stuff more personal than he does when it comes to.
And that's the problem that I have. And she's seen me like, and I don't come here all the time because of my work hours do not allow me to come as much as I would love to.
Yeah.
But I get into it with the guys because the minute I said no, because Sanjs this. Right. But then I realized their lack of knowledge
is what
it's what makes them feel like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they were a little more humble,
they would appreciate.
They will appreciate when he said, "That's a shit stick.
Mm-hmm.
That's garbage."
Yeah.
Right. That's your favorite stick.
Yeah.
But it's a shit stick.
Or the one. So I've seen people come in here with their cigars, and Sanjs look at it, he'll squeeze it, he'll smell it. He goes, "This right here is 80 cents." Another guy came in here, felt it, touched it. This cigar is $160 a stick. How much do they charge you? And the guy be sitting there like, "What do you mean it's $160? I paid this much for each cigar." He goes, "No, this cigar should cost you $160. This cigar should cost you 80 cents for each cigar." But they see you come in, and they see the mark. They know that they can go and they know who they can go to say, "All right, well, we got to suck them."
So funny that you say that, because Anna and I are now on, meeting reps and, everybody now is just like, "Oh, can I have a sit down with you ladies, blah, blah, blah." And what they don't know is that we already been schooled by
my son,
by the guru.
Exactly.
So when they come to try to sell us some shit, it's like, "I'll get back to you."
Yeah.
So it's like they believe that we are soft targets.
Yeah, exactly.
Not knowing
that we bought their line completely, and then we'll sit back and reflect. And what was it, last night or today that we were talking, and we were like, "You know what? That guy that came in the other day, he said this, and that, but now that I'm thinking about it, that's not how it is."
We listen to everybody talking, we let them talk. So
because they'll promise you the world.
We let them talk and tell us how good their cigars are. And,
the majority of those reps don't even know they're just selling the product. They don't even know where the tobacco came from, what region it came from, what plantation was used, if they used any chemicals, or they don't know any of that stuff.
So it's funny because, I get a kick out of it. I personally get a kick out of it when I get somebody to talk to me about cigars. And if I don't know, right, at that moment, I'm going to act like I know.
Yep.
Right? I'm going to act like I know. And then I'm going to be like,
exactly.
Or Anna, go on a bathroom break. Call Sanjs.
Yep.
Because it's like they look at us, and going back to women on, opening cigar shops and us smoking or whatever. When they come to us, it's like, I could suck at those too. And little did you know that I'm using you for what you got to offer, not because of your stick, because your stick is shit.
Yeah.
But and we seeing it now. We know it's there. We know it's out there. But it's funny for us because when the reps leave, we think we're fucking stupid. So we kind of like enjoy that. So now I'm getting to where I'm enjoying when they come to talk to us as if we don't know anything. And okay. It's like
it's also empowerment, right?
Yeah.
It's that feeling of empowerment. Like I'm knowledgeable about these things, like thanks to Sanjs, and it's like you got the upper hand in that sense where you're not gonna get fooled. It's not gonna be able to fool you.
Well, it's one thing not being able to get fooled, but all those reps that come to you guys are dying to get in here because they know when Sanjs carries a brand, he's not taking one or two lines. He's taking your whole line. Everything you got, that's what he wants. So all those reps, they all die to get in here. They're like, oh, can we get a little bit of your shelf space because it's gonna move. Like I've seen reps come up in here once a week. Hey Sanjs, you made your mind up yet? Hey Sanjs, have you thought about it? Hey Sanjs, just stopping by to see how everything's going. Like clockwork.
I mean, if you don't get a yes from him right away, then it's gonna be a no.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it. It's either a yes or a no.
Exactly. And it's also just certain brands that he doesn't like how to do business. He doesn't like how to do business. He doesn't like the way that the quality. So you're not getting in here.
And that's something that I have to say that we kind of like learn from him, seeing him, because many times I sat in the front and I see him, and it's like the approach, like trying to push the whole line, bro. I can't have you have 50 different cigars. I can't have all your 50 cigars.
Yeah.
Right? We are a small shop.
Yep.
But just their whole approach. Everybody's in it to the reps.
Mm-hmm.
They're in it to make money. This is their job. I understand that. I respect what you do.
Mm-hmm.
However, you're not gonna sucker me into buying, $3,000 of something that is just gonna sit there.
Exactly. And that's the one problem also is, like he wants, a sense. One thing he wants is loyalty. The other thing he wants is a sense of, he wants rare stuff, and he wants a lot of it because he knows if he gets it, it's gonna move. But you have to know that whatever rare stuff that he gets, he'll if he gets 20 boxes of it, it's going to be gone. And not just for him, but also too, like he knows every owner, so he knows all the owners. So you have to go and do a little bit extra, so you kind of have to go and do your part, and just as far as not just saying, oh, well, can you carry our line? Okay, well, you have to go back and tell your boss, hey, listen, like I need to get into this shop. Like, what can you do for me? Like, I need extra stuff. Like, I don't care about.
We learned that right away.
Yeah. Like
we learned that right away.
Like, what can I need certain stuff that other shops are not getting, and that's what I need, and that's what I need from you. If you want to get in here, like for instance, like the Perdomo 30th, only 75 shops have that. Sanjs has it. Most places come up in here and they go, man, I heard about that 30-year anniversary. Yeah, well, and I'm like, oh, we got it here. Especially for Perdomo smokers, they're like, what? You got it here? Yeah, it's right there at the bottom. Yo, nobody else has it. Yeah, because out of all those 75 shops, Perdomo knows if he comes here, if Nick comes here, he knows his product is gonna move. So, and Sanjs doesn't have to have it and upsell it. It's gonna be right there at MSRP, and boxes and boxes and boxes are gonna move. Like, honestly, I think we get a shipment from them at least twice a month, because that's how much Perdomo moves. So, it's one of those things where you make so much money for that company that it's kind of like you're forcing the loyalty, because it's like, all right, well, he's one of our big accounts. If we lose him, we're losing a lot of product.
And then you have the Caldwell too, right now.
Yes.
The Caldwell,
yes.
They sold their business, and come April or whatever, they're doing that whole transition, right? But now they just stopped doing any kind of shipment, so you can't even buy any of those cigars. Like the retail shops, they can't buy any more cigars of their lines. They stopped the selling process of it. So now, whatever Caldwell is out there, if you really enjoy them, then you're just gonna have to go and hurry up and buy them.
Hurry up and buy
as much as you can. And Sanjs has a good collection here of the Caldwell. and you know, that's it. After that, that's it. You know?
And they might not be in the shop.
No, and history, and if history still holds truth, right?
To every brand.
So every brand when
that sells
you
themselves.
sell themselves, that's it. Everything changes after that. Like
Well,
Caldwell is sold now to pipe making tobacco, right?
Company,
like
yeah.
a company. So they don't even deal with cigars.
Yeah.
Period.
Well,
So now it's like
Drew Estate and Swisher. Ever since Swisher brought Drew Estate, the qualities went down because they don't care about. And this is my opinion on it. I feel like they don't care about the aging process. They just want to get bans on cigars and ship them out.
Well, yeah, they choose the shortest aging time, right?
Yeah.
The 3 months.
Yep.
In 3 months. With Sanjs will wait a whole year.
A whole year. Yeah.
Before he goes and tries to make anything out of that tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where these people they're just trying to push products so that they can make their money.
And
make their quota, but.
And the thing too is that in order to get those really good ones, you have to buy a certain amount of Drew Estate. And I understand that those are your top sellers. But if those are your tops, like no cigar shop wants something that sits. And it's gotten to a point where a lot of stuff is starting to sit. You don't let's just say you guys get a contract with Rocky Patel, but the only thing you're selling from them is maybe the 60, the white, and one other one. So you have three of them that move, but you have seven other ones that don't move at all, and you haven't had to order a new box of that one, a new box of those, in maybe 6 months because they're just sitting there. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, you can't just cut off. You can't say, oh well, you haven't ordered these in a while, so I can't get you these right now because you haven't reached your quota. That doesn't make sense. Or you haven't ordered enough of the other stuff to get that top stuff that's moving.
Mm-hmm. But also in the trend of moving products and things like that, I don't know if you ladies have had the experience of seeing how there are so many boutique brands now, so many that you can't even keep track of them because somebody wants to go to DR and make a quick blend. Take from the list of 1 to 10, they pick 10, and everybody has number 10 and put different labels on it, and everybody is pushing their cigars, and it's like how do you? They're not even out there enough for you to even know whether they're gonna move or not, and they're not even out there enough to educate everybody out there to be like, oh, what type of cigar this is, the quality of it, all these things, where it's made. There's no time for that. So it's like, how do you go into a smoke shop, right? And pick out a cigar that you would think that you like, right?
Exactly.
It's like, so now everyone is Googling stuff. They're like, oh, I want to, maybe I like it because it has all the qualities that I like. San Andres wrapper, you got the binder that's Nicaraguan, you got a filler that's also Nicaraguan and Dominican, and you're like, oh, okay, that sounds okay, because that's kind of the cigars I like. But at the end of the day, you smoke it and you go, what is this shit?
I think
because they're just pushing all the boutiques. They're pushing all the boutiques in, and there's going to be a time. I mean, this is just my personal opinion, but I think that there's going to be a time where you're going to go into a smoke shop and you're going to go, oh shit, like, what is this? What are all these brands?
Well, I think one problem is
it's already happening,
and then you have the major companies. I won't list them, but you got all those major companies, and they're pushing their products too. So at the end of the day, it's almost like the boutiques are weaning out those big guys in a way, because a lot of shops are going into that type of feel where they're like, oh yeah, okay, I'll put your boutique on my shelf. I'll add your boutique. I'll add your, because you, as a shop owner, I know that you want to give people the opportunity of having a variation of cigars that they can choose from. But with so many boutiques that are coming out, it's like how do you cherry pick the right ones, right? How do you figure that out when there's so many of them?
And with so many different, again, being that we're just starting, we haven't even opened officially until this week. So every location is different. We could be just 3 miles away and we can have a totally different market.
Yeah.
So the people that are coming to us, how do we know what they're looking for, what kind of flavors they're looking, what kind of palate they have? Unless, we give them a choice, we give them plenty of variety, but then we got to start weeding out. Okay, this isn't going anywhere because nobody here likes this, so we got to get rid of that brand.
Yeah.
But there's always another boutique brand to replace it.
Well, I think the one thing is that the word boutique now is not what it used to mean before, because a lot of brands consider themselves a boutique brand, but they're not major brands. Like Perdomo considers itself a boutique brand, but they're not anymore. They're a major brand now.
Then you have the limited edition ones.
Yeah.
God knows everybody's putting a limited edition on it.
Everything is limited.
Everything is a limited edition.
Everything is limited, but everybody has the same wrapper,
the
same color.
And then next year is the same limited edition cigar.
Yeah.
Oh, we're making it again, but this is also limited edition.
This one says 2024 on it. It's different.
Yeah.
It's different because this one was made 2023,
Oh yeah, of course.
so now I got
Sure, but it's the same cigar.
It's
a lot of the time.
It's
the same blend, same everything, and they just so here we are another year, and then we got another limited edition.
Well, it's because it's a selling point. It's a selling point, and like
it's for those people who are like, oh my god, I gotta have that limited edition. I gotta have this limited edition.
So I gotta wait until they bring out the magazine. And let me flip through the magazine.
Yeah, but
it was in the magazine. Because people, it's sad, right? But that's how you sell.
Yeah.
So
I saw it had 92 points, 95 points.
And it's funny, and to me it's like,
even if we consider it garbage ourselves,
we
gotta get that in because
we gotta get it because it's in the magazine, and I had already 5 people asking me for the same stick. Meanwhile, I think the stick is shit. But because it's on the magazine, I gotta have it, and we joke around.
Yeah, but they don't understand what the criteria is of being in the magazine is, right? So there's so many cigars out there, and the criteria in the magazine is if you're in 100+ stores, retail stores, then the magazine companies will take your cigar and rate it and do all this stuff. But if you're not in 100+ stores, that's why you see so many boutique or new cigars that are out there. They're pushing to be in all these stores because you know what? That's another cross on another check on, and so that this way they can get to that level where it can be reviewed and it's self-promoting itself. But right now they're trying to promote it themselves, and that's a lot of work, as you can tell. So many people have come to you guys and have asked to be on your shelf.
Like speaking on that, it's just as far as the magazines, a lot of people chase those magazines because like, oh, why is this cigar rated number one?
That's the whole thing about us laughing about. It's like we gotta look at the magazine, we even if it's garbage,
and most of the time it is, but I feel like a lot of people, when they smoke something unique and they smoke something good, they don't understand. They're not trained enough to understand. Like, it really, when people smoke, like when people smoke SPs, it's either, oh man, I love this, or some people, and of course you got your haters that are like, oh, this cigar is overhyped, but it's overhyped by who? Like, we're not like, I'm over here saying we, but we're not no magazines, social media, yes, a lot of people post our cigars on social media, but that just says that the people enjoy, and they go, oh well, how did you find it? Well, we found it from reviewers. A lot of reviewers like the SPs, they like the industry killers, they like the RC gates, and they review it. And like Sanjs, he's not paying them. He's not paying them. Some people buy them themselves. And if Sanjs likes the way you review stuff, he'll reach out like, I'm gonna send you something. Tell me what you think, and give me your honest opinion. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
And then you have these reviewers that are smoking the cigar, right? And everyone's palate is different,
it's
right?
Way
It's different. And like I said to you before, even pairing it and drinking with something is going to change it. So what these people are doing also is that you have people that are followers, big followers of them, and they're like, well, I want to see what they're smoking next because they're going to review this cigar. I want their opinion. Ultimately, their opinion doesn't matter because it's your palate, it's what you like, right? But then then they create this other hype of like, well, this cigar tastes like this and it has these notes and this, that, and the other. And at the end of the day, when you actually look at that cigar online and you look at the notes that it comes from the manufacturer of what they're completely off. Not all of them, but for the most part, they're completely off when they're reviewing these cigars. And it's like, what are you putting out there for other people to what information are you putting out there for your viewers? Is facts or your personal opinion?
Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Well, and some people just go off the hype train.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, and that's again, a lot of people, I saw this cigar. Oh, this cigar is great. It's like it's the best. And here I am smoking my industry killer, and I'm killing it because I'm enjoying the shit out of that stick while they paying $28, $30 for one stick. We used to sometimes come and just buy cigars to go. When we go away, we always stop here first. But originally, we would just buy whatever. And Sanjs like, if you guys are going on a cruise, why are you buying it? I don't know. I like that. I guess I don't know. You like that? Try this. We buy bundles to go on vacation.
Like
that's the way to do it, right?
And I've seen a lot of people like talk about cigars, and this perfect example. I did not like that 2024 at all. The punch, I didn't like it at all. And I had a Camacho, and I was sitting there just powering through it, just like, damn, like this is like when I first started smoking cigars. When I first started smoking, I would go on a certain website.
I actually remember when you first came here the first time. I was here.
Yeah. Yep. And I thought that everything from General was great. I used to think that all of those Romeo by Juliet, I used to think all those were great. And then coming here and getting that knowledge and understanding what you're looking for in a cigar, and and understanding that certain cigars, when they're too peppery, they're hot. Like I wouldn't say they're hiding something, but that pepper is so overpowering that you can't get any other notes from it. So, because when you're searching for something, it's like, damn, like when I retro this, it kills my nose when I retro it. So I can't get anything from it.
Yeah, it kills all your senses, right?
You can't get anything from it. So it's like
2 coats.
Yeah. So there's certain brands you're like, damn, like this is just heavy pepper. You're like, damn, like I can't get that rich cocoa that I'm looking for. I can't get like the only thing you're able to get is pepper and cedar. That's it. You're able to get pepper and cedar out of certain lines that are so heavy pepper that's all your senses can pick up. Like you can't, like if you go up and I know you're smoking a pepper bomb, you say you're getting 6, 7 different notes out of that. I'm like, you're full of shit. You're full of shit. There's no way. There's no way that with that pepper you're able to get nutmeg, to able to get this and that. No, there's no way.
It's like those cigars that they wrap and they half wrap the cigar in cedar, in a cedar wrapper. People honestly believe that
it enhances it.
That you are to use that cedar to light the cigar. But the truth is, that is not for that. That's only for the transportation of that cigar, because that's how they prefer to transport the cigar, so they can keep some sort of moisture or something into the cigar. But that's not to use to smoke. And so when people do use it to light their cigar, it completely, all you're tasting is the cedar, and all you're gonna continue to taste is the cedar, even well after you already lit that cigar.
Because that
you're not getting the flavors from it.
I'll be honest with you, I enjoy lighting up my cigars with matches.
Well, that's the soft light. That's the way to do it.
That's me personally. I mean, I always have a lighter. Well, I have 1,000.
Well, this one right here, it resembles a match because it's a soft light.
Yeah.
It's a soft light. So what you're doing is, when you're lighting your cigar with a match or with a soft light, you're not burning the cigar to the point where you're burning the oils and everything. You're actually warming up the cigar. And you're tasting the original form of that cigar. Whereas when you start using that torch, people think that they need to torch the shit out of the cigar on the bottom and light it up. You just you're burning the oil. So now you're tasting all this burnt oil from that first toke of your cigar. And you're ruining it. Matches are always the best way to go, if not a soft light. And if you're going to use a torch, which I'm not against using torches, but if you're going to use a torch, then you got to have that distance to that cigar. And all you're doing is just burning the little bit of the edges around. You're not doing the whole full on.
Like I seen people take the cigar and they just...
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, when are you going to pull on that?
Exactly.
Now, what I learned from that, exactly, right? Hello, pull on it already. Start smoking it. What I've learned from Sanjs is that, when you have a wet pack, that cigar freshly made, it's still wet, then yes, you have to torch the shit out of it at the very, because you're drying up the cigar. He had what's his name on one of the videos that he was doing, what is it, the master blender, Eladio Diaz all of a sudden was torching the shit out of his cigar, and and it's like, oh wait, that's not how it's supposed to be. Like, people commented about that or whatever. It's like, no, people are not understanding is that he's taking a wet cigar, freshly made, and he is drying up that tobacco in there so that he can smoke it.
Exactly.
That's the only reason why he did that.
And the one thing, I'm sorry to cut you off, Jay, but the one thing is that with a wet pack, you only, like, the first third and maybe half is when you're getting that flavor, because you don't have time to smoke the whole cigar when you're tasting cigars. So the first third is really when you're getting, okay, this is what the cigar is supposed to be. And once you get to the middle, you're like, okay, and then after that it gets bitter.
And then when it's dried off the cigar, when it's rested already and it's actually dried up and it's it's stored somewhere or whatever, where now that moisture has come out of the cigar, then the full cigar will taste just like that first quarter of the cigar. It's amazing, and especially like just being here, just being able to learn and understand the blending process, but also understanding the layers. So if like Chico was here and he wet the cigar and then unraveled it, took the tobacco out, moved the tobacco around, moved it around a little bit, it said, now smoke it. He put it in newspaper. So after he re-rolled it, he put it in newspaper,
put it in newspaper for a little bit for about 20 minutes to smoke the cigar now. It's a totally different cigar because it's the layer.
It's all about the positioning of the tobacco.
All about the position of the tobacco. And I feel like that is such an amazing. To me, there's nothing like. To me, the most fascinating people are blenders. That's why I love because Sanjs is a blender. So that's why I love picking his brain when it comes to.
I think we all do.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we all do.
You know what? The best thing is when Sanjs goes, there's no such thing as stupid questions.
Except for the one person on live who said, "What does MSRP mean?" He said, "What? I'm not going to answer that question." Every other question he'll answer, I'm not answering that question.
Yeah.
But that's his character.
Yeah.
You know, it was funny.
So, you know, like.
But it's true. There is no
question. Oh, you know, like sometimes I ask him questions. He'll look at me. He'll give me a look like, out of all things, you asked me that. But he'll break it down, and he'll sit there, and he'll take it, and he'll take his time, and you know, and the one thing he was teaching me was about just like when you're finding tobacco that's good, and because everything is different. Like certain leaves are binders, certain leaves are fillers, certain leaves. He goes when you're looking for your binder, you want tobacco that's very elastic. And he goes, and he was showing me like videos of a person just with his tobacco, and he's there just pulling on it.
Mm-hmm.
He's pulling on it, showing that it won't rip, you know, and that it won't tear. And he goes, that right there is amazing tobacco. And you know, just going and watching documentaries and seeing the farm and seeing how, you know, this, especially like the soil. He was like, and how hot the soil is. You know, it's a thing now of, you know, just how do I put this? The agriculture aspect to it. Because at the end of the day, you kind of have to be a scientist when it comes to agriculture.
Yeah, what are you treating the soil with first and foremost, right?
Exactly.
That's what the leaf is going to end up coming out to, whatever you're treating the soil with, you know? And then also how you're fermenting the tobacco.
Yep.
That changes everything too. You know, it was like I asked the question, like, you know, like, why are there's tobacco, there's cigars that say, oh, this is Cuban seed.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Cuban seed, but grown in DR or Nicaragua or wherever you want to call it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then people gravitate to that that one thing. It's Cuban seed.
Cuban.
Yeah.
It's Cuban seed. But the truth is that the Cuban seed is used in all these different countries, in all these different climates, right? The variables in climates, not only that, variable in soil and their fermentation. All of that changes. So the mere fact that it says Cuban seed means nothing.
So
I always like to listen to people. Oh yeah, I smoked the Cuban.
Oh, so Mar, you've been sorry. So you guys know this guy, my boy Map Studios. You guys been asking him to come on a podcast by himself, but one day I will. One day we're gonna line it up. So Mar, you've been to the farm, you know, and we were just sitting here talking about the agriculture. So, what was your favorite experience when you were at the farm?
Just seeing the behind the scenes that nobody gets to see. You know, the majority of the consumers in the industry, all they see is the finished product. They don't see the process. They don't understand that it takes 5 years from seed to the actual hand of the consumer to, you know, make a cigar. The endless hours of work, the process. It's a science. It's not a job. It's a lifestyle. You definitely have to have love and passion for what it is that you do, because I can see people easily get, you know, bored. I think that from my experience, a lot of people, what they do is they look at it as a fad, as like, oh, that's cool to smoke cigars, you know. Let me try it. but you're trying it for what reason? You know, for me, it's therapeutic. For me, it's also religious, coming from the background that I come from. You know, I tell people, I don't just smoke cigars just to smoke cigars. There's a purpose why I smoke cigars, and that's because of my roots of, you know, religious experiences and, you know, upbringing. It's a beautiful thing. It's like, you know, it's one of those things where you have to see it. I can show you pictures and videos. It's not the same thing. From, you know, meeting Chico for the first time. You know, the first time I went to the farms and the factories with Sanjs, it had been my first time in 25 years that I've been to the Dominican Republic. And it just, I had not gone before that just because of personal preference. I really didn't see any interest in going back to the island. And then I went back, got in touch with my roots and, you know, just took it all in. Just watching, you know, the love that the workers have there, you know, they treat the cigar, the actual product, as one of theirs, you know, from the gentleness of handling the leaves, of rolling, even the packaging, from, you know, putting the box together where the product's going to go, even and me as an artist, you know, observing all that, I'm like, yeah, this is it, man. You know, you see the pretty pictures in all these cigar publications, but the hands that put all this together, you know, looking at the seed. Hey, we planted the seed. In a few days or months, we're going to pull out this seed, and how they carefully take it like a newborn baby and they place it into another, you know, place where it's comfortable, enough light being hit, you know, the aging room, where they, you know, it's like the ammonia room and the fermentation. Like it's an experience, man. I'm honored and blessed that I was able to see this in person, but also document it. There's a lot of photographs that I have that have never been put out to the public, probably will never see the public eye. And it's just because I look at it as something sacred. You know, everything has a time and place, all in due time. Also, when I went to Dominican Republic with Sanjs for the second time, and then I met Eladio Diaz for the first time too. Again, the same process, and to hear this master of this craft, you know, breaking everything down from holding a cigar a certain way, smoking a cigar from the right side of the mouth versus the left side of the mouth, retrohaling. Do you know the difference between a wet pack, and do you know the difference between an aged cigar? You know, two totally different worlds, two totally different experiences. Him allowing me to, you know, do a intimate photo shoot with him, not only at his factory, but in the comfort of his own home too. You know, those are things that they're priceless. They're, you know, iconic moments that you can only live once. You know, thankfully, you know, we have equipment, we have cameras that will freeze a moment in time, because for me, a camera is the only thing that can freeze a moment in time. And to have that type of stuff in my possession, it's like legendary and it's iconic, you know, and it's big for me as a visionary, as a photographer, especially because they're images that, you know, you can't put a price on, you know. But the experience, like, you know, you guys were talking, I was hearing you guys from the other side of the lounge, you have to be there, you know. Like even Sanjs can, you know, Sanjs is a guy that knows his stuff, you know. He's a true tobacconist. He's not just a guy that sells cigars and, you know, has been in the industry for 32 years. Storytelling is great, but experiencing hands-on is a different story. You know, you have to be able to create your own story too. But people don't understand the amount of work and the thinking, the brainstorming that goes in. You know, Eladio bringing out his notebooks. This guy keeps notebooks of all the blends. He has over 3,000 blends that he's come up there just experimenting. All right, give me this leaf. Give me that filler. Give me this binder. He's just experimenting, rolls it up, lights it. Nah, don't like it. Let's do this. Like it's a tedious process. And, you know, I think that there's a big misconception in today's world of, you know, everybody thinks like, hey, selling cigars and smoking cigars is cool. Let me open up a business. Or, hey, let me get that $40 cigar just because the band looks pretty and I see that that's what everybody's posting on social media. You know, you can't go by that, man. You know, you can never judge a book by its cover. One one thing that I notice is, and it's a marketing strategy, which I think is a great thing, especially from a visionary point of view. The boxes look pretty, the packaging looks impeccable, but is the product, should the packaging be better than the product that, you're buying? That's how, it's a marketing strategy. I'm not mad at anybody, but, you can't go by, wow, that looks pretty, so let me buy it, because a lot of times, looks can be deceiving. But anybody who has the opportunity to visit these factories, learn the culture, meet the people behind this product or products, it's I invite it, like, go. It's the same thing like when I went to Cuba. I heard you guys talking about Cuban cigars and the myths and the overrated and all that stuff. You got to go there too. It's like the process is different. Smoking a cigar in Cuba is totally different than smoking a cigar here. When I brought back cigars from Cuba, I was smoking 8 to 10 cigars a day in Cuba. When I came here, I couldn't do that here. And it's because of the environment. Cuba in itself, it's a natural humidor. You don't have the humidification that you have naturally in Cuba in the air that you have here. So the experience is different. But to, visit the farms in Cuba, and not just Havana where all the tourists go, but to go deep into the real Cuba and to experience how these tobacco growers and rollers, it's night and day, man. You can't compare, man. You can't compare. You do have people that tell great stories from their personal experiences, but what about your experience? Like I can sit here and say, hey, I've been to DR, I've been to Eladio Diaz, I've been to Chico's factory. That's my experience that I'm telling you, but what is your experience? Hey, I smoked a cigar that was freshly rolled at Eladio Diaz's factory. I loved it. You might go and say, you know what, I didn't love it. So it's all, opinion based.
So what was it like being there, touching that tobacco, and Eladio telling you, all right, when you pull it, this is what you're looking for? Like when you were getting that hands-on, like feeling of understanding of, okay, this is why.
It's mind-blowing because, again, we're looking at pictures, right? And pictures, speak 1,000 words. But for me, the first time I was able to really feel a tobacco leaf and be like, wow, this is almost like silk. It's silky, it's shiny. I didn't know that, during the age process, how flexible a cigar leaf can be. Like you can stretch it, especially when the rolling process happens. You look at a leaf and be like, well, if I pull it too much, it's going to break. Yeah. It's funny how you go from being a green raw plant in the fields to now bringing it after the aging process and after the fermentation, the humidification, how it's almost like elastic almost. And it's just, a lot of it was like, here, I want you to feel this. It's like, wow. It's almost like a piece of fabric, like high-end silk, And then for him the way he laid the leaf on the floor, like he always says in a lot of his interviews, you have to treat the tobacco leaf like you're handling a woman, gently. And then the way he lays down the leaf, he has this certain swag and style of he'll cut the leaf and then he'll carefully he'll use these 2 fingers and push it to the side with gentleness, not just like scrap it. It's just like this. It's like a whole performance,
Well, he's also showing respect to the leaf too in that process.
He also showed us there's a certain way when you're going to hand someone a cigar. There's a certain way of doing that, and he spoke about how he learned that in his travels to Hong Kong and Asia. There's a certain way to hand things to people. It's not just like, here, try this. It's like he hands it, puts the cigar in front of his hand, he bows his head, and then gives it to you. So you learn a lot, man. It was definitely a big history lesson. And it's something that I could see myself, indulging in. Hey, you want to go back and, visit some other factories? Sure. And the fact that I have my camera, it's like a treat for me, because I get to document things that people can only dream of. And, I have it in the possession of my hand,
So that big thing that Sanjs has up there, that's wrapped, what's it called, Mark?
That's Andullo. Andullo. So Andullo is basically, from my experience and my knowledge, what I was told, Andullo is basically snuff or chewing tobacco. It's something that it's grown and then they wrap it with special leaves and they tightly knit it. And, the tighter the better. And what they do after a long time, you can actually peel it off. It almost looks like guava paste. And that's what a lot of the tobacco chewers in the Dominican Republic do. They'll take pieces of it, shave it off, and they'll put it to a certain size and then put it in their mouth. So that's basically chewing tobacco. It's snuff. You know, I've never seen it in a raw form like that, natural form, because we're used to going to, hey, let's go to Quick Check. Let me get a bottle of Skull, you know, menthol snuff. It doesn't have any of those, you know, like the snuffs today in the chewing tobacco has fiberglass in it. It has nicotine. Obviously, nicotine is a natural thing, but you know, there are a lot of artificial things that are added to it, man-made things. But to see it like this is what real snuff looks like, you're like, wow. It almost makes you want to eat it because it looks like guava, you know. But I think the whole thing out of all this is that I was able to see everything in its natural state before it gets manipulated, you know. The food, the air you breathe, a can of Coke or a bottle of Coke over there tastes way different. Even people that were smoking cigarettes, the cigarettes over there taste or smell totally different. You smell tobacco, you don't smell the menthol. Like a person sits next to me here and smoking a cigarette, I get a headache. Over there, I didn't experience that. It's all tobacco, you know. So I urge those of you that can experience that to go if the opportunity arises, because you know sometimes it's a one-time thing. You don't know where this industry is going to go. Is it going to keep rising? Is there going to be a standstill? You don't know. So if you have the opportunity to do it, go. And then there's no better way to seek the truth or find out the truth unless you go straight to the source. And you know that's how I looked at it. When I went to the factories, when I went to the farms, like this is going to speak the truth. You know.
So when we were talking earlier about, you know, women smoking and how do people, I take kind of like offense when people just take a cigar and they smoking it because it's the thing to do. Because you're not respecting, you know, the process.
Exactly.
And I'm going to say women, some women, they go to the cigar lounge in groups. They just grab a stick, light it up, they puff it, and I'm like, she's not a smoker. She clearly is not a smoker. And again, it's because of that. You're not respecting the process. You're just doing it because everybody else is doing it. It's more to it than just 5 people get together and, oh, what you got there? Can I get one of those? You know, you're not at a candy store. Let me just try that.
Exactly.
There's a process. And a lot of people are losing the respect for the process and what it's meant to be. Like, I smoke because it relaxes me. I love smoking and it brings me down. Normally I'm running. You know, 24/7. I sit down to smoke. I don't want to hear that, you know, you were fighting, all of that extra stuff. I have no interest in it because I'm trying to relax.
Exactly.
So again, like when they go and I'm like, you have to enjoy your cigar. You can't just light up a cigar, puff, 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 and just leave. It goes back to what he was saying, the whole process, how it's, you know, they take the tobacco, the leaf, the seed, all of the components of a cigar. It's like, you didn't even ask what kind of cigar you're smoking. You know, like, what is a wrapper? And a lot of people, it's like, what was you smoking? This is my favorite. Pass me one of those things. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let me take this house. I can smoke it. What are you smoking? I don't know.
The band look cool.
Bro, you just lit up a stick and you didn't even. You don't
even
know what you're smoking?
Exactly. Happens a lot.
So, I like to know.
You know, then you got, and of course, you got your band chasers.
Yeah. Well,
you know, you got
the status.
Status.
And it goes with both men and female. I think, you know, I see that more a little bit on men. You know, it's like the band matters.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but.
Well, you know, and like most people say, well, you know, I don't smoke Connecticut. I don't smoke Honduran tobacco. I don't smoke Dominican tobacco. Oh, you know, I don't smoke. All I like to smoke is Nicaragua. You know, and like, there's too many cigars out there for you to say that you're gonna cut off. Just gonna cut off one region, because you have no idea that that cigar is a banger. Even though it's a Honduran puro, it's a banger. And everybody's like, yo, this is one of the best. This is one of the best Honduran puros I've ever had. And people are like, what? Like, oh, but this tobacco it's dry, or Dominican tobacco is this, Dominican tobacco is that. It's like, no, you haven't tried every single Dominican puro, so you don't know. So to me, it's kind of one of those things where, I feel like, especially people, and I experience this a lot with people that have been smoking for over 7 years. They feel like they know everything because they're like, oh well, I'm an experienced smoker. I've been smoking for X amount of years. So
you've been sticking to the same
same shit.
Yeah, you know, all right.
you experience that a lot. So a lot of times, I was hearing you guys earlier about what was your first cigar. What was your, a lot of people start over with flavored cigars.
Yeah.
My first cigar was an Alec Bradley Pensado. That was gifted to me by Puerto Rican Sanjs.
Shout out to Angel, man.
So I'm the only other one in my family that smokes cigars. My grandmother was a premier cigar smoker. She picked up her first stick when she was 13. She died at an early age, but she smoked cigars for over 50 years. And her first cigar was at 13. And I would just sit there for hours and be like, what is that? What is she doing? And I was always around cigar smoke. And back then there was no, secondhand smoking. Don't do that, especially growing up in a Latino household. Your uncle.
I used to be right next to my grandma. She lighted them up, and I'm like right there, like.
My mother was a closet. My mother was a closet smoker. I called her a couple of times. She opened up the window. She's smoking the cigar in the room, in the bedroom, and I'm like, I peeked into her like 2 or 3 times, and she throws the fucking cigar out the window. But she was a closet smoker. But it was taboo. It's taboo.
But it's very big in Latin culture as far as for, like Mario was saying, religious reasons. Mm-hmm. So have you guys ever had any experiences with that as far as family, like smoking cigars for religious reasons?
That was my mom.
Yeah.
That was my grandmother.
Yeah. So it's a religious thing. Going back to like here, for example, you'll have people that will come here and they're smoking Patron or Davidoff or Nick Melillo or Tabernacle, which are good quality cigars.
Yeah.
But you're smoking a cigar, and then the minute you say 70-30, they're like, what is that?
Yeah.
And me, I'm very observant. I can tell whether a person's an experienced cigar smoker just by the way they hold their cigar. There's a certain way of holding a cigar, and I'm like, man, you're just doing it just to do it. So when I hit them with the 70-30, they're like, what is that? I say, well, 70% of your smoking experience should be through the mouth, and 30 should be through the nose. Retrohaling. What is retrohaling? It's when you inhale the cigar and you slowly let it out through your nostrils, through the nasal passages, so that you can really taste the notes that you're not tasting it through the mouth, because the tongue has different levels and tiers of taste buds. So they're like, the minute you show them how to do it, they're like, and they do. I'm like, yeah. So all this time you've been buying this $20, $30, $40 cigar, and you've been smoking this cigar for 10 years. You've just been throwing money away.
Yeah.
You're not getting the true experience.
When people ask me, how do you know when a cigar is good? And I said, I know a cigar is good for me when I light it, and the minute that smoke enters my nasal passages, when I feel that I want to eat the cigar, that's how I know this is a great cigar. It's almost like I want to chew it and eat it. And that's how you know. You have, for me, I love cigars that smell like manure. That's how you know that's a great quality cigar. Because you'll get there like, it smells like manure. And, Sanjs taught me this a long time ago. When a cigar smells like manure, that's a great cigar.
And it has that pungent.
Yes.
That pungent.
And going back to, it's funny because when he mentioned Connecticut, I laughed. Look, man, right now I'm smoking in Connecticut. I'm having Connecticut smoke.
Yep.
It's not because like, oh, you lightweight. No, it's not because I'm lightweight, because I do smoke Maduros. And Connecticut, for me, it's not everybody that can roll a good Connecticut. It has to be creamy. It has to have that smooth, consistent burn. and that smell, and that odor and that aroma, I love Connecticut's. It almost tastes like, for me, smoking a Connecticut, it's like me taking a piece of fresh bread while it's still warm and putting that butter on it and the creaminess and all that, and it tastes from the first bite to the last bite consistent. And I have to say that a lot of Connecticut's are pretty consistent. My go-to is the Nick Melillo Charter Oak Connecticut. To me, that is in my experience, one of the best Connecticut's that I've ever smoked in the years that I've been smoking. And now with the newly released Oreo, yeah, I told the guys, I think I'm gonna put in ask for a divorce with my Charter Oak. I might have to divorce it, and it's, I'm like, let me try it. It's like the rules of three. People be like, they'll light a cigar that they're smoking for the first time. How was it? Nah, there's a rule of three. Smoke the same cigar 3 times. After the 3rd time, if you still don't see no change, then you let it go. But people be like, no, I don't want this. Even here in my own experience, you'll have people come in, they'll light an expensive cigar, and they'll leave it, like they'll smoke it a quarter of the way, put it down, and go get something else. And I didn't like that. To me, I'm not saying that you're not a true smoker. You got to find out your palate. That's why when I first came here, Sanjs told me, he said, smoke everything.
Yep.
He goes, At least once, smoke everything. And then little by little, I'll start knowing what your palate is. And that's another thing. He knows everybody's palate.
Everybody.
And when new stuff comes in, he'll give Innocent something. He won't give me. I don't get offended. It's because he knows that's not my palate, and I'm not gonna like it. So he says, "Why give you a cigar that I know you're gonna waste? You're not gonna like it."
And it's funny because you hear a lot of guys, like when they're talking about cigars, they will always say, "Nah, I don't smoke Connecticut's." I'm like, maybe you had one back Connecticut, or that wasn't a good experience with the one, but I personally enjoy Connecticut's.
It's a great stick in the morning. It's a great stick if you don't want to smoke something. It's late and you want to smoke something too heavy.
Like at nighttime before I go to bed.
The nicotine will keep you up.
So I will smoke. I'd rather pick up a Connecticut before I smoke anything else. Now I'm up to 3 o'clock in the morning finding it.
Nah. Just Mike said he came in late, and then he was asking if the Texas was asking if the girls have a YouTube channel. I was like, nah, none of them have a YouTube channel. But Cigar Dimples have. Do you do cigar content on your IG or no?
Yeah, I do everything cigar content on my IG. Yeah,
so Cigar Dimples on IG. You can find Joanna right there at Cigar Dimples.
Cigar underscore Dimples.
Yeah, Cigar underscore Dimples. Just know her page is private, so don't go up and try to act stupid, all right? Don't act stupid.
One thing that I do want to say is, for those of you who are thinking about, this is the first thing I tell people: smoking cigars is not a hobby; it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle that you have to dedicate time to, and it's something that it can become very expensive. But you learn and you manage, how to budget, because you'll get into it so quickly, and you'll be like, next thing you know, you find yourself spending like, damn, I just spent $1,000 this week, man. You'll be like, but I only got like 30 cigars, and I spent it. It can
be. I always say, like, with cigars, you smoke 10, you buy 20. So you end up buying 10, and then you're like, damn.
And the one thing that we all do, and we're guilty of this. We'll keep buying cigars knowing that our humidor at home is full. And you just be like, both and be like, where the hell am I going to put that? And then you find yourself buying Tupperware, and then like, oh my God, like it gets out of control.
It gets way out of control. I got cigars everywhere.
So one thing I do want to say, not to cut you off, I apologize, is those of you who are thinking about getting into this type of culture and lifestyle, educate yourself first. Yeah. You got to educate yourself, because, the one thing you don't want to do is walking into something, not knowing what you're walking into. You're going to hear different versions. I'm not, everybody's going to have their biased opinion, because even what I'm speaking now is, you can say it's biased because I'm going from my personal experience, right? And everybody might be looking at me like, no, you're wrong. Well, maybe I am wrong, but it's a biased opinion, so I'm coming forward with it. I'm just speaking, everybody interprets things differently. What was a fantastic adventure for you might be like, that shit sucked for me. All right. So everybody's different, but educate yourself first. The one thing that I do have to say is that before when you walk in the door in this lounge is Sanjs will take the time to educate you. If you want to learn, he's willing to give you all the time in the world. But if you're just going to come here like one time or twice, he's not going to waste his time. Which it makes sense. But you'll leave out of here with some people like, wow, I gotta go back there. Exactly. I have to go back there. We gotta go back. And
I think the one thing is like you said, when people talk about like cultism, it's like you like Charlotte, Connecticut. Mm-hmm. Anna might be like, I don't like that cigar. I can't do it. I need something heavier than that. And and you can argue over it and stuff like that. Damn, sun's caught up. So just as far as like certain people, they'll defend the brands that they like to no extent. They will go and defend those brands to know tomorrow. And it's like, all right, but you have to understand that person's experience is different from your experience with that brand. Because you have certain people who hate Perdomo and will say, oh, it's this, it's that. Yeah, people are like, yo, that's all I smoke. We have people coming here, they only smoke certain brands. They don't touch nothing else. Mm-hmm. Won't even look at it. You can give them a cigar, they're like, no, I'm good. I smoke what I smoke.
Yeah, I seen that because some of my coworkers, all they smoke is that one brand and that's it. Mm-hmm. Me, I like to try different. How am I gonna learn about the industry? How am I gonna learn about the tobacco? How if I don't try different cigars so I could compare? If I'm always smoking the same thing, what can I compare it to?
Yeah, what happens is your palate plateaus. It's like like anything else that you smoke, like your body, your tongue, your body, everything's gonna reject. Like, yo, what is this? It's like a foreign object. When I visit different shops, especially when I go away, like Florida's bombarded with shops. Mm-hmm. Every shop has their house plan. I'll give it a try. Like, right, how was it? Good. Am I going to sit there and tear the cigar apart? No, because they're looking at me like, they're looking at me like, who the hell am I? You're nobody. You're visiting. You don't even live here for you to be shredding my cigar. But you try a little bit of everything. It's just like the other theory. For those people that smoke multiple cigars a day, they don't understand that if you're a person that smokes, let's say 5 to 10 cigars a day, you smoke your strongest cigar first, and then you wind down. It's not the opposite. People think, well, I'll start off with the light one to get the strongest cigar is smoked first, and then you dwindle down. People don't understand. They look at you like, what is that? I'm like, you got to learn that. Yeah. You have to learn. That's part of the learning process. So.
What do you think about women in cigar lounge?
Women in cigar lounges?
Let's go back to the topic.
I mean, we live in a different time. Equal opportunity. As a person, especially me speaking from an artist perspective, the same thing that women experience in the cigar industry, women also experience in the art world. In the art world, women were only seen in art history books and a painting hanging in a museum, most likely in the nude, right? So, the same way you have a revolution happened in the art world, I think a revolution is happening now in the cigar industry, where now women are being accepted more into the world because, they looked at the art world as a male-dominated field. And you saw that in the art galleries, you saw that in the museums, you see them in the art fairs. And, now that women, almost like an uprising, there is a lot of talented women. One of my favorite female artists, which I know everybody in here has heard of her, was Frida Kahlo. Mm-hmm. Frida Kahlo was a rebel, and obviously, what helped her out too was that she was married to another historical artist, Diego Rivera, who was all about revolutionary stuff, but Frida paved the way along with a lot of females who made a stand and made a name for themselves. It's possible. I think it's possible. A lot of people are afraid of change. It can be looked at as a threat, intimidation, but you have to adjust, I'm not saying that there can't be out there a female Sanjs with all the knowledge that he carries.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there is. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's just either the person refuses to get, notoriety like that, or hasn't caught that big break yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure there's a female Sanjs out there as a true tobacconist, as a true cigar connoisseur. It's a very sensitive issue. I'm not afraid to, express my thoughts. I think that. So one thing that I learned as a kid, my father always told me, he was like, whatever it is that you do, he says there's enough of the pie for everybody to eat.
Mm-hmm.
You can't put it. How more clear can I put it? There's enough of the pie for everyone to eat.
I think the one thing is that this shop is a lot different from other shops.
Oh, 100%.
Like
100%.
if you don't have thick skin, you can't be here.
I think the one good thing about, and not because I'm a member here, but everyone in this shop can speak their truth and can speak their mind.
Exactly.
And if, some people take it to offense, some people don't have thick skin. And you come to you can't find yourself getting caught up in emotions, right? And come in here with a mentality of like, I just come here to smoke. Mm-hmm. That's it. Break bread and come here to smoke with the people that I enjoy being around. But if you get caught up in the politics and what he said, she said, you gonna find yourself
that don't fly here.
No need for
So that's where I said, like, I can't go to a shop to smoke with the he say, she said, like,
enough of that at work.
But the thing here is like when you guys come here, you guys are family. And the funny thing is that if we hear anybody offended you guys, the whole shop gonna get up and say where he at. We're gonna take care of him right now. Like I feel like at the same, like, you guys feel protected here. Nobody's ever gonna come at you sideways. And if you ever felt disrespected, the second that we find out about it, it's gonna be a huge problem.
The perk or the plus to being here is that you can be yourself.
Yes.
If you're having a shitty day, you can be like, I'm having a fucking shitty day.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, everybody be like, yo, I feel you, man.
I feel you.
You don't got to come in here and put up a front.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, I'm having a shitty day, but let me act the part. Like, put on a fake smile. Especially around Sanjs. Sanjs is very raw and open.
And the thing is, you could be having the worst day ever, and he'll come and you come in here and you come in
That's
here.
where I was gonna go to.
Yeah.
I've come here on days that I get off from work and I want to quit today, and you come in here and everybody, it's like it's a whole different,
But
it just changes. You could come with the most fucked up, day, and the minute you come here, how you doing? Whatever, it just changes because of the whole vibe.
Yeah.
It's like you forget about
what's up,
what
Sanjs?
happened 2 hours ago.
You want a food girl?
Not yet. We're still talking.
Get off the phone and go order something for them.
We're still on live, son.
It's 5 o'clock. I don't care. Beat them.
Okay.
Love you, Sanj.
Order stuff now.
Oh, okay. All right.
Realize it's 5 minutes already.
Okay.
I guess Sanjs says we have to end this podcast because he has to feed us.
Hey, what's going on? How's everything, man?
We gotta get back to the shop soon.
Yeah. Beat them. You're not in Africa. In America, we feed people every 2 hours.
He said, feed her, we're not in Africa.
All right.
In America, you feed people every 2 hours. Yeah, so.
Oh man.
So, it's just.
What do you?
Oh, so he got checked.
Yep.
You got checked. You see?
Exactly.
You see?
Exactly.
There you go.
There you go.
That's exactly what we were just talking about, the transparency. No filter.
So Ugo popped on, and Ugo says, "How you doing, ladies?"
Hola.
Hola. So, all right, what do you guys want to eat?
We don't have a chance to eat. We have to go back to the shop.
Oh wow. So
You take a rain check.
yeah.
We'll take a range. You
All
can
right.
feed me later this week.
Thank you,
All right.
everyone, for having me. Ladies, thank you. Great show, man.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right, guys, we're gonna end it. Well, we're almost at 3 hours, so we're gonna end it here. Normally the show is 2 hours, but the ladies are here. Cigar Dim was about to say goodbye to you guys.
Sorry.
You're right.
Bathroom break.
Yeah. So we've been going on for 3 hours now, and hopefully I'm gonna try to make this happen once a month to get the ladies on if they're free, if their schedules are not too tied up. Hopefully we'll have more ladies on, to talk about their experiences as well. But you guys know the vibes already. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Until next time, Big Guilty Cigar Podcast.
See you guys.
Peace.
Bye.